This is the M Zone.
And welcome to the that's a messed up.
You want to try that
To
again?
Big 1050
Hold on, let's try it
on
again.
the M Zone.
Hold on, let's try it again. Hold on, Jamie. Let's try it again. Hold on. Let's just pretend. Here we go. And
This is the M Zone.
And welcome to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt, the Hitman Missler, guy.
Give me what I want.
The best in the Bizzler, and you got Big Sweets in here.
Yeah. Lovely day. I'm back.
Now you see Big Sweetie's smiles and everything like that. You know,
that's going to change in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, he's got problems off his mind. Why? Because UCLA, they got their man. They got their
coach.
man.
We got a coach.
But you got a new guy. You
Yeah.
not an old tracker. You got a new tractor.
You know what, Jamie? I kind of like that because, sometimes it takes new blood, man. These same guys get recycled all over the place. And, how do you know if a guy is worth it? You got to take a chance every now and then. So this guy doesn't have a proven upper level record, but he has a proven middle level record.
I'm just going to say this. He took over for Kurt Signetti.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Google him.
You can Google Kurt Signetti. He wins. That being said, he's still winning, and he's in the Big Ten championship. But that being said, I'm just amazed at all of these coaches. You got UCLA, you got Florida. And again, we were talking about Penn State. Penn State went a different way. They went and got them an old tread, and they went and got them the BYU coach.
I got an issue. I got an
issue, but he's coming. And Miz, what are they letting him do? They're letting him finish coaching his team in the Big 12 championship game, and if they make the playoffs, they will let him coach in the playoffs too.
I got an issue.
What's the issue?
And it might be more so related to the NFL than college. And our listeners know that I'm a fair and straight up shot caller.
You try to be.
Why is it that the brothers can become interim head coaches, but they don't become full-time head coaches? They use the brothers to save the ship,
right?
As in an interim basis. But how many brothers are still not hired as head coaches in the NFL? And I don't know that much about college to study.
I'm going to say Raheem Morris. He was an interim coach at Atlanta. I remember that.
I give you that one.
They brought him back as the head coach. So
I give you that one.
That worked out.
Correct.
So I mean, I get what you're saying too. But we've always had that kind of problem in the NFL. And is it getting better or is it getting worse? I know in every position we look at it and see, do we have enough black quarterbacks? Do we have enough this? Do we have enough that? Coaches, I mean, they do get opportunities now. There's offensive coordinator, black offensive coordinators. There's a lot of those black defensive coordinators.
Okay, let's look at it. And once again, I'm an NFL guy more so than the college.
Aaron Glenn's a head coach in the NFL. He's at the
yes, but there's 32 opportunities as head coach, right? 80% of the playing field is African American.
Sure.
Who knows better to deal with African Americans than African Americans? Now, I'm not going out and saying, right on, brother, and every coach. There should be a black coach everywhere, but there should be more than what we have. There should be more than what we have. Let's call it like it is.
Okay,
you're right.
You're right, and maybe, but I think, like you told me, Roger's working on that. Roger's, talking to the teams, talking to the owners, trying to convince them.
I will say, Roger Goodell is but he's a solid guy. He really is. I've had this discussion with him.
Right. Yes.
And he's a solid guy. But on the other hand, he can only do so much because he's an employee instead of an employer.
No, I get it. And I get it. Look, you still got to show the owners where the gold is. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You still got to show the owners where it needs to go and where it needs to be.
I'm gonna give you an example. Back in the day, way back in the day, when Kevin Colbert, Steelers general manager, who I worked with at the Lions for years, when he was looking for a head coach back in the day, and being honest, he would run a few things by me. And he called me and we talked, and he said, Larry, man, I really love this Mike Tomlin guy, man. He says, I really, man, this is man, love him. I love his answers to I said, Kevin, my advice to Kevin was, I said, Kevin, whatever your criteria is, and if he matches it or meets it, I'm not telling you have to hire a brother, but if he meets it, and you enjoy it, you like what his answers were, don't hesitate to pull the trigger. And here we are. How long has Mike been in Pittsburgh? 18 years or so?
18 years, yeah.
Here we are, 18.
They want to fire Mike right now.
Now, there's a funny side to this story, too. Kevin said, but Larry, I'm a little worried. I said, what's up? He said, man, when I picked him up from the airport, we went out and we drove by a Chuck E. Cheese. And he said, man, my mom and dad used to take me to Chuck E. Cheese. He said, I'm about to hire a coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers that went to Chuck E. Cheese.
What's the problem? Oh, because they didn't have Chuck E. Cheese?
Well, he was young at the time. Mike was.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't have it. I mean, Kevin didn't have it in his day. Nobody knew what Chuck E. Cheese was.
Right.
What was it, Shabaro or something like that? Remember that?
Yeah.
What was
that was his little,
Shabaro. Yeah, I remember the cheese, that pizza place in the mall.
Your mall pizza place.
Yeah.
So, that's all I say. I'm not saying, hey, teams, go out and hire a black guy just to hire a black guy. But if you're whatever your criteria is, whatever your prerequisites are, then if the guy you interview meets it, what difference does his color make?
Well, I agree. I totally agree with you on everything. That should be across the board. Yes. Whether it's high school, little tights, college football, and in the pros, the best coaches should be head coaches. You know what I'm saying? And you work your way up. That's how you do it. That being said, we got a whole lot of coaches moving around, and only one guy is being vilified. I'm sorry. Everybody says he's jumping ship. He's leaving it. No. Tell the whole story. Don't just tell pieces of the story. Tell the whole story.
And now, that is
I'm going to say this. Everybody knew Lane Kiffin was gonna get the LSU job. I don't care what you say.
Right.
Lane Kiffin was getting the LSU job. One reason why is because Nick Saban had that job, and Nick Saban said, "That's the best job I ever lost." And I gave it back. I'm just saying.
Right.
He said he could have won as many championships he won at Alabama. He could have doubled what he won at LSU.
Wow.
Oh, look, and I did it.
And we all knew Lane Kiffin was going to go.
Right.
I mean, how can you hide it? Or anything. The only thing about it, the difference is in today's football market,
it's about how you do it.
There's no more loyalty anymore.
No,
on either side, no player side or the.
There's only one coach right now. Only one coach right now that tried to be in LSU and come with a different voice. What's his name, Miz?
Orgeron or whatever.
No. Tell him, Miz.
I got rid of that drop. Because, no, here it is.
Exactly. Trying to perpetrate. He's from the South. Are you crazy?
A guy from
Brian Kelly tried to go down there and act like he's family. Right. I want to say I'm family down here. Don't treat yourself like that. Look, no coach is from anywhere nowadays. They want a job.
That's just the sign of the time. That's the sign of the time. So roll with it.
So, and everybody's upset because Lane Kiffin, he went from one SEC school to another. So what? Get over it. That's not what it's all about now.
If I have any question about this or any thoughts about this, I go back to the new blood scenario. Yeah. When these same coaches get recycled all over the place, where's the new blood? I don't know the UCLA guy like I know, NFL guys, but it's new blood. The man's getting an opportunity. The man's getting an opportunity that he's earned, because at the lesser level at James Madison, he was successful. So I got no problem with taking a chance sometimes on new blood. That's what's wrong with, I think, the world today. Even we don't want to get into politics, but term limits. You got these same old guys holding these same old offices for all these years, and nothing gets done. I believe in term limits. I believe in new blood. I believe in giving other people a chance.
Well, I'm just going to say this. People believe in winning, and that's the key.
I know.
Let's bump the brakes here. Let's just, you don't want to say the sentence out loud, so I'll say it for you. Cash rules everything around people. The grand dollar it's all it is.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin is a money squabbler. That's the reason why that On3 reporter that reports for Ole Miss called him, I'm going to keep this as clean as possible, a lady of the night.
Yeah.
You cannot turn a lady of the night into a housewife.
Well, I got another comment. How about the lie?
I'll call him that. That's fine. I'll call him that. But here's the thing. When he jumped ship to Miami, yeah, we knew that was the case. But when he came back to Alabama, there have been many times where people were like, hey, man, Nick Saban, he could come play coach for us. And he went, no. Because he became the Alabama housewife.
He knew what would happen. He knew he was whole.
He found home.
Just like Lane Kiffin will never leave LSU. Guaranteed.
If that's the case, I've got waterfront property right there in a flood area with your name on it.
Going to remarry his ex-wife.
Bull.
And get it done.
Bull. How about this lie?
What?
I don't even know what my numbers are. I don't even know. I told my agent, get it done, and I don't even know what my numbers are.
Jimmy is the agent of
Jimmy Sexton. Yeah,
he's all of these coaches should know everybody's numbers. Everybody knows everybody's numbers because everybody.
I'm talking about Lane Kiffin got in front of the press conference and said, "I don't even know my numbers. I just wanted to be here." Bull. Bull crap.
Somebody in that family knows what he getting.
Oh yeah.
So they can tell
bull crap. That's bull crap.
They know.
You wait. I'm gonna tell you right now.
May not know.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You wait a couple years, because I had a buddy of mine that asked me this, like, man, where do you think you're gonna go next? You wait 2 years when Steve Sarkisian takes a job at the pros. He gonna jump to Texas.
Why do you think you want to go to Texas?
Because you go to the next best one. Who makes more money who makes more money in athletics than LSU?
Texas.
That's down south? Exactly.
Texas.
There's no way going up than that. The only other place you go up than that is you go to Oregon, because you got all of that NIL money.
That Nike money.
Yeah, you get that
Nike money. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Dan Lanning ain't going to leave that place.
Dan ain't going nowhere. Hey, now Dan, that's his place.
Oh yeah.
This right here is Dan. It's got neon lights. This is Dan's house. So don't come in here.
Yeah, the only time that he will get that he will leave is when he gets the boot to ass.
So let's keep it home. Let's keep it at home right here. Let's keep it at home right here.
Let's keep it local.
Should Michigan have gone outside of Michigan and instead of promoting Sharon?
No,
we tried that. We tried that already.
They couldn't.
We tried that already. Allow me to remind you, Rich Rodriguez.
When Harbaugh, it's the NIL. The real problem was the NIL. As soon as Harbaugh decided he was going to leave,
he became a martyr.
Everybody was going to jump ship. Everybody. Yeah. You needed to get somebody in position quickly. Somebody the players like. Sharon was somebody the players like. He was that guy that was the community guy. They loved him. They would stay for him because they did a little survey, and they stayed for Sharon.
I remember when that happened, and I was happy that Michigan did that because, as I said earlier, my previously stated scenario, they used brothers to save the ship as interim coaches.
Well, he did save the ship. He beat Penn State, he beat Maryland, and he beat Ohio State.
And they rewarded him rightfully so, like he deserves. But a lot of these Penn State, let's go to Penn State. That man salvaged that season. That man saved the players like him.
They petitioned to drop the interim tag and to make him the head coach. And
but they didn't do it.
They didn't want him
because when it comes down to it,
they want to move away.
Well,
not enough cachet.
Well, that's not just so much that, but it's also the boosters. Let's just be honest here. The boosters are
the
ones that pay the money.
NIL. You got to bring somebody in who can sell the sexy part of it.
But
who's going to tell you what this team is about?
But the coach at BYU does not move any needles. He does not move the sexy needle whatsoever.
They're going to say they're going to do the hard work thing with him. They're going to say you may not get the sexy peel, but you get the hard work. Look at they're going to present the numbers to what BYU does, how he gets BYU going, his winning records and different things like that. BYU is always in the Big 12 now, and it's always registered
horse pucky.
Okay. I'm just telling you what they're doing because wait a minute. You're right. Miz is right. He ain't got the sex appeal. He doesn't move the needle at any angle. So you better sell. He's a hard worker, and he's a lot like.
And what's going to happen? The guy from BYU going to get there, and then he's going to do a Lane Kiffin after a couple of years.
No. That ain't going to be a Lane Kiffin situation. It's going to be a Jonathan Smith situation.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. They're going to wait
because they're
going to give him a couple of years. To give him a couple of years to try to get things working.
James Franklin's just a couple 80 miles to his south. He can still recruit the mountains. He's still in the mountains. Right. He's still gonna get that. He's gonna get that Pennsylvania money. Players.
He knows that James Franklin knows the right pipeline to go work.
Exactly.
He worked the pipeline perfectly at Penn State. He knows where to go, so he'll go to Virginia Tech and do the same thing.
So if my man is his assistant, didn't he learn something from Franklin? He was his assistant. He was the interim head coach.
He's gonna be James Franklin's assistant in Virginia Tech too.
And I think it's ridiculous.
I'm just telling you. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be over there. He's going right over there.
And trust me, I know that's what's gonna happen. I think I don't like it myself. I don't like it whatsoever. I mean, this is a guy that has been a part of the program for a few years now, at least. Yeah. He knows how the program is run. He picked up where the shambles left off.
Exactly.
He picked up ball up. And he ran it at least to salvage a 500 season, a potential winning season after the bowl game, if that's the case. And you got the team that is backing him, saying, "We want this guy. This guy has turned things around. He's raised morale up down the stretch." And yeah, I understand that the games that they played down the stretch were against Cupcake U of the Big Ten. I understand that, but the thing is, though, when you want to relate to the student athletes, you want to keep them in town. You don't get rid of the guy that helped you get to this point.
Well, half of them going to leave now and go to West Virginia.
To Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
You understand. The school is reacting because they got a new shoe deal coming. Adidas is coming. Remember?
There it is, money. Again, it comes back down to money.
It does. They got a new shoe deal. They got this. They got to get everything ready because they bring in a lot of money and they're infusing money because they got to help build that stadium. That stadium's in construction right now. So
basically, there was one coach, the Nebraska coach, that stayed at home. Everybody else kind of bounced around.
Well, he got a new contract.
Right, he did.
Saying, I love Penn State. I hope nothing but the best for Penn State. I mean, a week later, he got a brand new contract.
And so did Google Man in Indiana. He got a new deal.
Yep, he got a new contract because they can't afford to lose Kurt's coaching.
Well, they did that after the first year. So I mean, they knew that, hey, if he is good this year, if he ends up being good next year, and Indiana made the move of, man, we really hope that we don't screw this thing up by giving him a giant extension after year one. I hope he better live up to those expectations. What's he do after that? He blows everyone out.
He blew it up.
I know it's way earlier. I know it's way early in the week, but I got a bold prediction for this weekend.
I'm pretty sure your bold prediction might be the same as mine.
You both got this? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it will be. I mean,
okay.
But
I don't know.
I got a bold prediction coming.
Hey, the school to beat my school shall be the Big Ten champ.
No. The Big Ten champ goes through Indiana this year.
Hey, I see. I hear you.
Hold on a second, Jamie. Let me just.
I hear you. I hear both of you.
Here you go. I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna let you. Hold on, man.
No, I'm just saying. Y'all ain't seen. No. In the warm, see, in the cold weather.
But you know what, Jamie? It's gonna be hard as heck to play two highly competitive games back to back by Ohio State like that.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
I'm just letting you know.
But
I know everybody's seen that, and everybody saw the game and how the game was and everything. I mean, I you know what?
Ohio State did their thing. You got to show them love.
I did my thing yesterday. I said that Sharon Moore got to look in the mirror and he's got to ask himself, what do I do to get better? How do I get better?
And you can tell.
But you were realistic and spot on, Jamie, in the beginning. Right. You said 9-3.
I get it. And the thing about it is, he's got to make some important moves on the coaching staff too. He's got to make some.
I don't know if you blow it up like that, Jamie.
I didn't say blow it up. I said he's got to make. Look, we need a special teams coach.
I agree with that.
Okay? I agree with that. We need some players. And I'm going to say this, and I'll say this. I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again. You got a 5-star quarterback who, if you don't let him play, if you don't let him throw the ball, if you don't give him the toolage that he needs, he's going to leave here. Mm-hmm. He's going to leave here next year. And he ain't going to come back. And the next 5-star, yes. And the next 5-star you get, you ain't gonna be the coach here. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta make this work. This has got to work.
I agree with that. I agree that it's got to work.
I'm saying if he looks like he looks this year, his freshman year at 18 years of age, he's got to mature. By the bowl game, they got to have a game plan, highlighting him, making sure he looks like heaven. He looked in the Maryland game.
The other way to look at this is
against Texas. I'm hearing it'll be at the Citrus Bowl against Texas.
The other way to look at this is there is a positive about that team in Michigan because they had 6 freshmen.
They were the youngest team in the Big Ten.
So if he can manage to keep all those kids together and not have them go all over the place, they got an honest-to-goodness chance of being that much better next year.
No, he's got 2 jobs. He's got to keep the team. He's got to keep the players he's got here now.
Exactly.
But he's got to bring in other players.
I agree.
You've got to get 2 receivers out of the portal. I'm talking about 2 big-time receivers. You got to get a tight end, if not 2, and then you got to get some offensive linemen. And I'm not talking about backup offensive linemen. I mean guys that are blocking, that know how to get to the game. And then you blend that with your freshmen that have been progressing along all season long. You can't mess around. You can't mess around. No. This is the day of the NIL, friend. And we didn't do anything last year. We rolled around. We did one thing. We got Bryce Underwood. That's all we did. Everything else we had. I know we got to change up because we got to go to a break because we got Nick Baumgartner coming on the other side. But I'm just letting you know, this is the way you got to think. You got to think progressive now. You can't be ooh, ah, ooh. No more ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
I agree. But what those changes are is where I might differ with you a little bit.
I'm just you may have to do changes that you don't think you need to make. I said somebody's got to look in the mirror. The head coach has got to look in the mirror and make decisions, just like Jim Harbaugh did. Miz, you remember when he made those hard decisions of all of his friends that were his guys. Were his guys.
I mean, the guy that's going to be joining us in a matter of moments, he can attest to it that Jimmy had to make that tough decision. That was
a good move. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, trust me. Do you think he really wanted to, get rid of Jed Fish? No, how he wanted to get rid of those guys? No,
he got younger and more ethnicity,
and gave these players responsibility of their team. Yeah, and that's what you can't handle the team anymore. The team has got to feel like this is our game, our team, our game.
That is true.
So I'm just saying, we got to go to a break. We come right back. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050. Edge. Oh,
what's up,
baby? What's up? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? Good. How are we doing?
You know Thursday's gonna be a big game, dog. Big game. It's huge.
Must win.
It's huge.
Must win. Must win from here on out, basically.
You better go tell Dan Campbell from me. Give it back to John Morton.
Give it back. Yeah.
Just give it back. Give it back.
Jamie Morris and Larry Lee are looking like savants.
Saying this was going to happen. Yeah, I know. I tell you what, it definitely feels like he's overcorrected. But they're also like hurt. So it's a mess. It's like a total mess.
I get it. But hey, those that can play.
Yeah, no, I mean, you probably should give it back, though. Yeah.
He needs to give it back so he can concentrate. That's been my narrative for Sharon. Just you got to administrate. Just be an administrator and let the.
Is he calling plays? Is he trying to call plays?
Yes.
Oh my
God.
on.
What's my word?
What's my word? Cerebral. That's right.
The coach needs.
None of that's going on around here. I can tell you that.
No, it's not at all, Nick.
Oh no, the button has been pushed. The panic button. Whoop, whoop,
yeah.
Whoop. We can't.
It should be. They're a mess right now.
I can say this. We can beat the Rams, but we better bring the Panthers with us.
Yeah, right. They better find somebody else to come with them. I mean, man,
I don't want to, sound like I saw this coming, guys.
Yeah, it did feel like it was rattling off the track.
I saw it coming, man. Making those decisions and all that everything. What's my statement in the past? Everything about him deals with the physical.
Be ready for my first question because it's gonna rock your head.
Let's go.
Jamie, I can't answer that.
Let's
Nick,
go.
Do you know how to surgically take my ankle, give it to Amon-Ra?
Well, I don't know.
That's exactly.
Yeah, he might need mine too.
Feet, so I know
that's
it
a
may
problem.
not be as good.
That might be something to look into as well. Does he?
Well, when he went off the field, they looked like they'd never played before for like 3 series. I'm like, my God,
that happen. You got Jameson. I mean, you just throw the ball.
Get him going.
Get him going. He needs to go.
Let's dive a little deeper. There might be something to him overworking them. Because last year was the defense was all hurt up.
I know. I thought about
this year. Different guys there might be something to that.
I wonder about it because Kirby Joseph is also
players. They're soft people. They're soft. They should be working out themselves.
We know that, Jamie. We know they're soft. They can't endure what we used to endure. No,
they hit during the year. More than they hit a lot in camp, and I've always felt like that was that's smart.
They should.
And I don't think they should change that, but they hit during the year. I think more than other people. I've wondered about that. Like I don't know how much, but I know they hit more than they have in the past.
Remember what's the one guy that left us and went to the Eagles or came from the Eagles to us, and he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much we hit around here."
Yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson said it.
Yeah,
Tim Patrick.
I can't believe how much y'all hit around here.
Josh Reynolds. Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
what has been another one of my comments? He coaches like a tight end. He doesn't coach like
yeah. That's what I said for a long time. He's
tight.
I know. He still thinks like one. It was my same. I had the same criticism of Aaron Glenn when AG was here because they both did it. Dan and AG both coach like they play.
Now I got another
in your face, like all the time.
I got another thought for you.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he's looking real good.
He might have been the.
That's all. That's where the pressure's coming from.
I'll tell you what. Ben also took some assistance here, and I'm wondering if they might need to make some staff tweaks or something because they have lost their attention to detail. And I watched some Bears tape this morning, and they've got it all. Yeah. They're doing all the stuff. They're not messing anything up. Like their motions are on point. They're not lining up wrong. We saw lines lining up wrong like 3 times in this game.
So Ben Johnson might have been
he took some guys with him too. I think that were important.
You need to get Johnny Morton back on the comm and let him call the plays. And let's get to detail. Tell Jarrett, hey,
he's got those. Like he took Randall L. and JT Barrett. And one other guy. I can't remember who the other guy was, but those guys were important here. So they got to do something, I think, with maybe the staff because it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same.
No.
All right. Coming back to break, guys. Stand by.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler. Yeah, he's the very best in the business. You got Big Sweet over on the left coast. I mean, the West Coast, the best coast. And then, touchdown Detroit Lions. Had to get him on, Nick Baumgartner. Why Nick Baumgartner today? Because he's got a game on Thursday. Game. This game is epic. And, hey, any Frank Ragnar look? I mean, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? I mean,
what a tease! I feel so bad. I felt so bad for Frank. No, he's not coming back.
You sure?
I felt bad for Frank. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it unless something happened today that I
okay,
missed.
I'm just making sure.
No, I mean, the statement that the Lions put out on Saturday.
It sounds bad. Yeah, his hamstring is just destroyed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't know what was going to happen with all of that. Like my whole thing, like Decker had said that they talked about this. Frank had talked to them about it several weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd been getting in shape and stuff. And I almost wonder if he overdid. Like Frank Ragnow was one of the great athletes. He was one of the best. He was the best center athletically, and probably the best center when he was healthy. I thought in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Awesome guy. One of the smartest players I've ever sat down with, Jamie. Like, no question about it. But the one Achilles heel Frank has is he cannot stay healthy. Like, his body just it would just betrayed him all the time. So I almost wonder if he, like, almost overdid it or something in his training. And then I also don't know what that means. Is he done for next year, or does he want to come back? I don't know. I don't know.
Gentlemen, sometimes the decision can come from the other end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might have seemed like a good idea. And after dissecting it and all of that, the physical has failed. Okay.
Yeah. His body.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Hamstring, the whole thing.
Wow.
So I don't know what all that means for him long term, but
I've seen it right now. I've seen it on both sides of the fence.
Right. And so it's a toughie. But that was one where it got people's hopes up. If nothing else.
Jerky. That's what it is. Fans went crazy for this. I mean,
know.
They were.
Well, everybody loves Frank. Like he's great.
Yeah, that's the love for him. But realistically, was he going to make a night and day difference?
The question. That was the biggest question that I had because I tried to think of it like this: like if a guy had gotten hurt in like November of last year, like a season-ending injury, right? So he missed camp. He didn't get to hit in camp. And then I thought, okay, well, they could probably ramp him up the same way you would do it, like when Aleem McNeil came back.
Right.
And he missed all of camp. So they probably could have done it. I don't know how effective he would have been, though, because like unlike Aleem, he had not even been thinking about football for, several months. I don't know if I would say 8 months, maybe 6 months. He wasn't even thinking about ball. So I don't know. I don't know how effective that would have all been. It did feel like a Hail Mary, though, did it not? Where it was like, you got to do something.
It did. I thought, look, everybody got happy. Everybody said this will solidify that offensive line. I mean, the thought process was, and
if it worked, yeah.
I don't want to sound like this guy, but having the experience that I've had on downstairs and upstairs, you know, I have a difference of opinion on some of these things, and I can speak from experience. So he wasn't gonna turn this thing around by himself. He wasn't gonna. There's deeper issues that you all know I have discussed.
Right. But he brings in that veteranship.
I don't know how much more. I don't know how much. Like my question was how much was he going to give you at all? I mean, would he have improved them? I don't know. Maybe, but yeah. To Larry's point, it would not have been a cure-all. No.
I used to have an O-line coach that said offensive linemen don't pull hamstrings; they pull fats.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that he was just like. Because that's like he's never had any of that stuff either, so I don't know what all happened with all that. But they go. That's something they got to address in the offseason, though.
Well, they're going to have to find somebody. Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to find somebody. But let's move to the team itself right now. I mean, they're in the playoffs right now. Just like Michigan, they're in the playoffs. They can't afford losses anymore. They can't afford one loss. It's over. They've got to win and win out. And
I think so too.
That schedule doesn't really say that.
No.
Tough games.
That's a part of becoming a champion, is that when you start becoming a good team, your schedules become harder, and that's that 20% difference I've been talking about, the difference between a good coach and a cerebral coach. You need all factors. You need all those factors to win a championship, and it's only going to get tougher and tougher. Part of the reason why New England is having success is because their schedule is easier right now because they haven't won. But once they win, that schedule is going to be harder next year. So the Lions are receiving those schedules of winners, and that's when you got to have more cachet, more everything else to become a champion. And I don't see it out of DC. Put it that way.
The schedule is exposing their warts, if nothing else. Like it's Jamie and I, we talked about this 2 years ago when they had the 12-6 schedule, and it certainly got harder. But now they had the real big. They had the top of the heap schedule. This is the first time they had the hardest one that they could have come up with, and it has exposed all of their weaknesses, for lack of a better, the thing that I keep going back to more than anything else. And, obviously Dan Campbell is overcorrected, I think, in a lot of ways with whether it be taking the play calling away, the decision making at time, the Eagles game, things like this. But really, I think even with all that, if they had their attention to detail to where it was last year or the year before, I still think they're a team that's probably at like 3 losses right now instead of 5. They're not a bad football team. They are just a team that is sloppy and needs to unslop themselves. And I don't know if the mix is in the house to do that right now. I don't know if this is the right mix on the staff. I don't know if that needs to be tweaked in the offseason as well. And I don't know if Dan needs to give the place back to Morton.
I'll answer that one for you. Yes, the staff needs to be tweaked because we lost. Look at 94 West. Chicago Bears, and who was with us last year.
But you knew he was going to take some. Aaron Glenn was going to take a few, and so wasn't Johnson going to take a few, right?
But they had a great mix though here. It was a great team, and when you take guys out of that team, and that's what it was. Dan's been open about that. Like Ben called the plays here, but everybody was involved with the game planning and everything else, and they had a great mix. And when you start pulling Randall L out of there, Ben, JG Barrett, maybe that's just one too many, and the guys that got put back in, it's not quite the same. So whatever has happened, like the receivers aren't blocking with as much detail, the tight ends aren't, they got guys lining up wrong. So that was not something, we did not talk about this over the last 2 years. So those are things too.
I know,
and that's where, to Larry's point about Dan giving the plays back, that's is he even seeing that? Because he's calling the plays. No, does he have time
he's going to call the plays.
See all that, and
No,
so obviously
that's why. Look, that goes back to what I said about Michigan. It says it's the same thing.
It's the same idea. Yeah,
it's the same idea. You are an administrator, Dan Campbell. You hired these guys. You paid them a whole lot of money to run the offense and defense. You've got to let them do their job.
There was a statement that we had when we had Brother Glines on one time.
Right.
The head coach not only has to coach the players, he's got to coach the coaches.
The coaches. That's right. That's so important. It's so under talked about too. And honestly, guys, this in college. My God, that's what gets guys fired in college more than anything else. Right there is they can't coach the coaches. Like when we talked about Jim for all those years here, Harbaugh, one of the greats at that, one of the best. Even though guys hated him, in the end, he could coach the coaches during the year. He got the best out of them. Yep. And I think Dan, the group that he had here before, a lot of them were younger. Some of them now are not. I don't know if that's, some of the mix. I don't know. But whatever it is, the mix is not what it was. And I think that needs to be readjusted here for sure.
I'll go back to my statement. I love the Lions. I bleed blue blood, man. I've worked.
You got your Lions shirt on today. I saw.
Yeah, downstairs and upstairs, guys. And unfortunately, I don't think Dan Campbell is a championship coach.
Well, he hasn't proven it yet. To be fair, but I'm not going to throw the towel in.
I think he's a championship coach. I think
he can be.
He's shown me too many. He's shown me too many times that he does not know how to adjust on the fly, and he's bullheaded. He's bullheaded.
He's stubborn. Yeah.
Show me a coach that's not stubborn.
Yeah, but that's fair.
Show me a coach that's not stubborn.
But I do think Jamie.
No, stubborn. I'll show you a coach that's not stubborn, but I'll also show you a coach that know how to make adjustments.
No, I
just think that there are times where it's the stubbornness needs to just be eased back like a notch. No one's ever calling for him. I never would call for him to change the way that he is. But there are certainly times, even the most like what we would consider stubborn, really good coaches who are stubborn, all of them have made concessions at times where it's like, we don't have our fastball today. We got to do something different.
Yes.
And that's where the growth has to come in here. It's just not
right now.
And I wonder, to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt, because this was not an easy job.
He has.
That he has taken on so much, which is his own fault. He didn't need to take all this on. But he's taken on all this stuff, and I wonder if that's he overreacted, and
I don't think he trusts his coordinators. I think he trusts his defensive coordinator.
Yes, Kelvin, but not
I don't think he trusted John. I don't think he trusted John from the beginning.
Well,
I think this is what he wanted to do from the beginning.
Right.
Honestly.
I'm taking over because Ben's not here.
It's my time to do it. Yeah.
It's my time, and I'm going to be – if he wants to do that, because a lot of coaches do call offenses or defenses. So he needed to get an assistant that worked with him as opposed to calling him
a guy that he knows really well.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And honestly, I would say this. If he wants to do this going forward, then he needs to bring in another guy who is at the level of that can call plays and be a play caller and be a guy who's like basically like an assistant head coach. He needs to bring in another guy. I think that's why David Shaw is here. Maybe David Shaw becomes I don't know if David Shaw is the right guy for that or not, but like that to me is what this falls onto is there needs to be somebody else on the staff who he completely trusts to take care of the things that he is missing because he is missing things.
I think
that's obvious.
Trusted Ben Johnson a whole lot more than we ever knew. I mean,
I agree.
He gave Ben
and AG. Aaron Glenn is like his best friend, so like that was another one too. He never questioned either of those guys.
He never questioned them. Stood up on the table for them when they wanted to get rid of AG. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, several times.
Running the wrong defense. No, he's not. I got his back.
That's the trait of a good coach is delegation. Knowing how to delegate.
But he can't delegate because he doesn't trust. He doesn't trust John.
I don't know if the mix is right here. And I think that I do agree that with Jamie's point that if he had a guy in here that he was more inclined to trust, I think he would give that all back and say. But I also wonder, though, to Jamie's point, like when he hired John Morton, because he could have gone and hired anybody.
He could have.
Could have hired anybody he wanted. This is a great job, right? I would think you would work with all this talent, but he hired a guy that was going to be amenable to change and exactly what Dan wanted to do when he wanted to do it. Dan, I think, he's a Sean Payton guy. This is what Sean Payton does and always has done. And I think he kind of thinks he could do the same thing. Now, that's where I say, hey, you can't be, the junior version of your mentor. At some point, you got to get out of the tree. That's the Sharon Moore conversation, too. This can't just continue to be whatever you think Jim would do in this situation.
Right.
You've got to do your own thing. And I think Dan has reached that point because it's like, you're not Sean Payton. You're Dan Campbell. So we got to have a little bit of a balance here. You got to find out the right mixture. And I don't think this is it quite.
You've heard me say this a bunch of times. When your team needs help during the course of a game, you got to be the difference maker,
right.
Even though you don't have on any pads. Mm-hmm. You got to be the guy that comes up with some kind of thought process cerebrally to make.
Yeah, you got to get leverage for him, right?
Yeah, you might have to win a game by kicking 6 field goals. You might have to win a game by not going for 4th down and punting a little bit more often. You might have.
That's a lost start, is it not? The whole thing is a lost start. The balanced head coach. There's not many of them in the NFL anymore.
No, the other day, you weren't on, Nick, but I told Jamie, I said, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And that is, I'm talking about coaching the game of football.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, yeah, I know.
Look,
it really isn't that different.
It's not.
But I'll tell you what, to Larry's point, how many guys are out there now these days? They're also afraid of the analytics, which that's a tool that you got to use, but a lot of them get scared of it and they don't. You got to be able to judge how is my defense playing right now? How's this going right now?
Exactly.
Like the whole thing. And it doesn't happen a lot right now.
You hit the tack on the head. Every game, every quarter, every drive is a whole different scenario. And you got to think them all through each and every time.
Yes.
You can't just say, I'm going in this game and no matter come hell or high water, I'm doing the No.
No,
every decision.
It's a game of chess.
Like
when I spend, he knows what he has. He knows he had St. Brown. He's got Jameis, and he's got what's his name? The running back.
True, Jamie. But when that changes, you have to change. Okay, for instance, let's go to the
Laporte is out too.
Laporte is out. That's the key.
Let's go to
St. Brown and Laporte go out. You got to do something different.
Let's go to the Philly game. Both teams were struggling. If your offensive line can't block them 3 times, what makes you think we're going to block them the 4th time? So why go for it?
So, Jamie, this reminds me of. Remember when we did the book on the '97 Michigan team? I spent all that time with Lloyd, Lloyd Carr, who's the greatest, right? Lloyd's awesome, and Lloyd was that type of coach. And all the time, I would talk to Lloyd about decision making and this and that. Every single decision, whether to punt on a 4th and an inch, whether to go for it, whatever he was going to do. Usually, it was a punt. All that sort of stuff. Everything was done based on how was this matchup doing? How was that match? How is this happening? How's it going to happen? What's going to happen if we don't get it 3 possessions from now? It's being able to, that's the lost art of it. Being able to step back up out top of yourself on top, and look over the field and scan it and not be in the game. Right. And that's what Dan is guilty of. It's like he's in the game. Right. And you're like, you're not in the game.
Look,
you're not also,
you're not in the game, but he is in the game because he sees himself.
You're the main chess piece.
He is the main chess piece, but he forgets sometimes because
he's so focused. He wants
to be in that game, in that position.
It's gotta.
He's got to peel back like a tight end.
You know who he should talk to, Jamie? Is Jim Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh changed his. He's still probably a little bit too hands-on, but he changed a ton, and that's why they won here. That's why they won here.
I know you said who he needs to talk to. I'm gonna tell you who needs to talk to him, and that's Brad.
Brad. I mean, they got to get
a little advice. That's all. Just give him some advice, Brad. That's all. Go and say, hey, let's sit back and relax.
Oh, man, y'all killing me, man. You're killing me. This is it's a game, but it's also a profession.
It is.
And it's also lives and everything is on the line.
Here's the problem. Dan has been successful for 3 years, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think I know everything. I think I know every situation.
Very curious to see. Yeah, I agree.
He's not learning anymore because he stopped learning, and now I know nothing else could come up that I don't know. That it's a problem. He's got to open up again.
Fix it now.
What's the old cliche, man? Well, you never stop learning.
No, but you can fall into the trap of
a trap
thinking that you have.
Yes, that you got it. You've seen it all.
That's why I say when I would give him the benefit of the doubt to say I would judge him on his response to what went wrong this season. Like what are they? If it's going to be the same thing next year? Okay, that's a huge. We got a problem here, obviously. But if there's change, if there's and not even, I don't need Dan Campbell to walk out there and say I screwed this up, and because he normally does take ownership for a lot of stuff. I don't care about that.
He takes ownership for everything.
Pretty much. Yeah, but if are you gonna go fix some things? Are you gonna go change some things? And I think that's what needs to be looked at.
Well, Nick, I'm gonna say as if you're Brad, it's not are you. I'm gonna tell you what you need to change.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that you are. It's like what it's what you do when you make the change. Like who are you bringing in here? Like like that's my other question too. Is it's who are you bringing in here? What's your plan B? And what? Yeah, are you going to take the place away again? Like what are we doing here? What's the plan?
Those hard
What's the situation.
Those hard discussions have to happen, gentlemen. In this league, I mean, we all want to be kumbaya all the time.
And this is the first time they've had to really probably have that, I would think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from my experience, I'm just saying I've seen the difference between the 80% and that last 20%.
Yeah.
I played for Don Shula. I played for Dan Reeves. I've seen cerebral coaching.
The little extra that on everything.
Yes.
And I think if nothing else too, Larry, they need to get together, Brad and Dan, and re sort of adjust or re-look at what do we want this team to be like moving forward. Here's who we've paid. Here's who's hurt. Here's who's not here anymore. What do we want this to look like? Because just continuing to do it as business as usual, I don't think needs to be. That's the real thing. Something does need to change, and they both need to probably be at the forefront of it.
So far, just like a kind of big evaluation, I think Brad has done an awesome job on talent acquisition. Mm-hmm. Brad does a great job with talent.
Well, sure, and he keeps going to get players because we're getting hurt. We're physically.
And he brings in great substitutes when somebody goes down.
That's right, off the bench.
Yep. I love it.
Now we got to dissect why are so many guys going down on a regular.
That's another question.
Now we got to dissect some of these other things. Hey, coach. This fourth down thing, we got to talk about this, man. That's the tough part of the business side of football that not every fan understands or sees, and that's where the Lions are right now. They got to start having some real tough conversations between Brad, Sheila, and Rod and Dan Campbell.
Well, look, they ain't got much time. Because they got the Cowboys coming in here.
Yeah, they got to make it work now. But, I mean, the bigger issue is I still think the more interesting thing to me long term is what this looks like in terms of adjustments in the offseason. And then, where do you go from here? Because it's not the same team that went 15-2. This is a different roster.
It is a different roster.
You've got a ton of talent now on your defense. Mm-hmm. And, it's not the same. So to the point that Larry's made all year, you can't play the same way that you have all the time if your team is, in a different place, which it is. Right. So I definitely think they need to readjust.
It's a game of adjustments. It's
all the time. Never ending.
All the time. Not every now and then. Every down, every drive is something different.
To an annoying level, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Nick, we're not going to figure it all out.
No, not today.
We appreciate you coming on. Have a good Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Enjoy.
See it happen. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, guys.
Take care, man.
Yes, sir. We'll see you,
On
boys.
the M Zone. He's a writer for The Athletic. We're going to go to a break, and we come back. We've got our guy coming on, and it's, Chris Ballas, who's going to give us his thoughts. We're going to find out what he thought of the game, and where do we go from here? On the other side, you're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
Clear on the radio.
Dun 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 dun. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler, and you got Big Schwee. Not Dirty South anymore. He's back out west. He's in that house on the West Coast.
I tried. I had to come. No, it was a great family event.
Good.
My brother-in-law turned 70, so the whole family got together.
That's exciting. And joining us is Chris Ballas from the Wolverine magazine, Wolverine.com. Chris, where do we go from here, Chris? What does Michigan go from here? Now, Chris, I'm not going to say it wasn't a bad season. It's not, and the season was exciting and different things like that, but there are some things that need to change, Chris. And, I made a list and I checked it twice. And
you just made the list.
And Sharome's going to have to sit down, look at himself in the mirror and go through what he did not do and what he did do. And then he's going to have to make some tough decisions on that, on his coaching staff. He's going to have to look at people and, what happened here, what happened there. I mean, different things. And then he's got to sit with his boss, Ward Manuel, and figure these things out, And
I do know.
And look, as I said yesterday, it's time to let the Jim Harbaugh years are done now. And he's a great coach. Jim will go down as one of the greatest coaches, as he should. That being said, we've got to become the team that we need to become with this 5-star quarterback. We got to get him up to speed. And dare I say this, because people don't like it, less running and more throwing. This kid's got to start throwing the ball. This kid has got an arm, and we got to take advantage of it. Needs to start, I think, for me, bowl practice. Needs to start in that bowl game. It needs to, I'm not saying totally give us a new offense, but we need to work on our offense too.
Yeah, it didn't look like a Chip Lindsey offense to me. Five passes in the first half. Now, he did miss. I was watching Devin Gardner's podcast with Jake Butt, and it was pretty clear that there were some receivers out there that Bryce just missed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there were times that he was seeing ghosts, and it's funny because you look at the first game against New Mexico, and I wrote this, and New Mexico, by the way, finished 9-3 and tied for first in the Mountain West, and the only reason they didn't go to their championship game was because of some obscure tiebreaker. So that wasn't a dog team, but he looked like a much better quarterback in that game, in my opinion, than he did by the end of the year in that Ohio State game. Now, granted, that's not the same defense, and there were times that he looked really good against Northwestern, other than the interceptions, and then looked really good against Maryland, but he didn't look comfortable. And maybe it's just part of still being a freshman. The kid's 18 years old. We got to remember that, right? And that was an outstanding defense, and maybe the moment was a little bit too big for him. But
that's what I think. I think the moment was too big. He was playing in the game, and it had implications in it. It was the game. It's something he's never done, but he's watched, and he had an opportunity to participate in it. You freeze sometimes. Sometimes you freeze up.
Yep, but in every big game this year, even Michigan State, he didn't look comfortable on the road and against a crappy defense. Let's be honest, that's a pass defense. They gave up 450 yards passing to Malik Washington in Maryland, I think, on Saturday. So there are things that he's got to get better at and maybe get more comfortable in. But to me, it was overall uninspiring when you're running. On second, I think they had 2nd and 8 about 9 times, and they ran on 7 of those, and they didn't get any yardage at all. And they kind of bailed on Bryce a little bit too, and I think he lost a little bit of confidence. But you can't score 9 points in this game and expect to win. And it doesn't work.
Let me ask you this question.
Yep.
You get the ball, and you go right down the field, and then you get a field goal. Exciting. Then you turn around and you intercept Julian Sayin, and you got a chance. You're down inside. You're in the red zone, and you got a chance. If you score 7 points in one of those 2 opportunities, it's a different ball game. It's a different thought that's coming out of Ohio State's mind. everything. It's all different. I mean, they did throw the ball on first down down there once in that second series that they got. But after that, I mean, we didn't do much, and I mean, Chris, even take a chance. I mean, you're down there. Take a chance, and I mean, on fourth down, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
Look, you give this young man some confidence. You got to get him into the game. You got to bring him out, swing him out if you got to. You got to do something and make a choice. Either he runs or he throws. Give him that opportunity, but nothing.
No, it was frustrating. And like I said, 5 passes in the first half, and everybody's like, "Oh, Chip Lindsey's got to do this, and Chip Lindsey's got to do that." And listening to Tyrone Moore after the game, he said, "Yeah, we wanted to be more balanced, but we started the game out running the ball much better than we thought. So, that kind of changed things a little bit. It doesn't mean you abandon your game plan." And there were people on the field that said some of the players were like, after the game, they were frustrated, and that happens, and we're not going to put too much into that. But one of them said, "Well, man, I'm sure glad we ran all these plays in practice this week that we didn't even try in the game," And once Jordan Marshall went down, and I think that was a game changer too. And let's be clear here, Michigan was down. Yeah, Michigan was down 5 or 6 guys that could have absolutely made a difference in this game. And injuries are a part of it, but when you're without your 2 really good running backs, and Bryson Cudsdall is a good player, he's not Jordan Marshall, and I think we saw that. Jordan Marshall could have been a difference maker in this game. He had, 60 yards in the first quarter,
right?
And then he got hurt again, and that was that. And then Ohio State starts bringing those safeties in the box a little bit, and daring Bryce Underwood to beat him, and he couldn't. That Michigan doesn't have the receivers that Ohio State does either. So, regardless, so I want to say that and get that out of the way. But at the same time, it just looked so vanilla, and to run as much as they did on second down, to check down so quickly on some of the routes, and little dump passes into the flats. And I thought the best chance here to beat this Ohio State team, if you can't run the ball like like a Tim Biakabatuka or like a Jamie Morris in 1986, is you got to trust your quarterback. And if he makes some mistakes, he makes some mistakes. And part of it, I think the moment was a little bit too big for him, but the other part of it was it didn't seem like they trusted him after early in that game.
No, it seemed like you needed to shake Bryce, shake him, get him ready for the game. We're in here. Let's do this. This is where you want it to be. This is where you're at. But you got to give him an opportunity. You can't just, look, when Jordan Marshall got hurt, you've got to go to your guy. You got to go to your guy. You got to say, "Hey, we need you now. We need you to be the leader. We need you on the field. Your mind has got to be out here. Where are you at?" I mean, look, it's got to be done. And hey, and I've been telling Miz and I've been telling Larry all day today, because I didn't have a chance to talk to them yesterday, but I told them today. What I said is, hey, Tyrone Moore's got to go in the bathroom, or go, where is his mirror at? And he's got to talk to himself. He's got to go through, what did I do? What didn't I do? And he's got to make decisions. He's got to decide. He's got to decide, where am I taking this team? And what am I going to do? And remember the personnel he's got. I mean, he's got a guy who's got an arm. He's got to go, and I mean, in the future, he's got to go. He's got to go into the portal and get 2 wide receivers at least. 2 wide receivers at least. Tight end, some veteran offensive linemen. And got to go get some big bulls on the defensive line too. He didn't have we got beat on offense and defensive line. We got beat. Larry and I said we needed to win. 100%. We needed to win the line of scrimmage. We did not win the line of scrimmage.
No.
Special teams.
Michigan won the game.
We got to get a punter. Got to find a punter.
Yeah.
We got to find a punter. We need a special teams coach, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, you got to decide. Do I have the best coaches that I think that can get what we're trying to do here? What we're trying to do here, because right now we're not. I mean, when you look at it, we don't. It doesn't look. It doesn't look like we're doing what we want to do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you basically took all my talking points. We talk about the line of scrimmage, especially. I really expected more of that defensive line this year. And you remember what Sharon was saying earlier in the year about we've got our guys. I can't imagine we have a better pair of edges, and there's a better pair of edges in the country. And Derek Moore and that was TJ Guy.
That was TJ Guy.
Disappeared.
And then Barham. I mean, look. I get it, but you look. No, it's frustrating. I'll let you know that I'll figure that out. Sure, and it's got me going, okay, if Sharon won't do it, I'll do it for him. Dude, you got to administrate. You got to let your offensive coordinator that you pay a lot of money to and who's worked with Drake May, we've seen what Drake May can do, so we know that Chip Lindsey is a good offensive coordinator. Let him run his offense. Leave him alone. That's what you did. That's what Harbaugh did for you. He left you alone. You got to administrate your stuff. You got to put your plays out there. And I know head coaches do that all the time. But go back over there and take care of the rest of the team and let the offense do their thing. Let the defense do their thing.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
And that's what 100%. You do. That's exactly what you do as an administrator. You have to be more of an administrator, less of an offensive coach. I mean, if you want to be Bo Schembechler, go coach the offensive line. That's where you came from. You came out that pit. Go over there and get that pit ready. Get them ready to play. Everybody else, leave alone, because you hired the best coaches you know that can get these positions ready. Because head coaches coach the coaches and the players.
Yeah, and if you don't have the guys that you think are good enough, then you got to replace them, and you got to go out and get the best of the best, because that's what Michigan deserves, right? And we aspire to be what we were in the last 3 years of Jim Harbaugh. You're not going to win championships every year, especially now that the Big Ten's loaded, but that's not what we're asking here, right? What we are asking here, you should be a playoff team just about every year in a 12-team playoff. I don't care what anybody says. When you're at Michigan, maybe miss it once in a while. You look at the schedules the next 2 years, they're pretty brutal, but you should win your home games at Michigan, right? For the most part, against everybody but Ohio State. Ohio State is the standard right now, if we're being honest. Everybody was talking about Michigan's Joe Moore Award semifinalist line. I saw an Ohio State line that was so much better than Michigan's. I couldn't believe that they weren't in the top 8. They've given up 6 sacks all year. It's ridiculous that they weren't mentioned there. So I thought they were better at almost every position, frankly, other than kicker, which it was nice to see Dominic Zavada finally get his mojo back, but it didn't matter because field goals don't win this game. And the punt game was atrocious. It was embarrassing and not worthy of Michigan. I said it after the Alabama game, and people were like, well, he can be good enough. And I'm like, good enough. He had a couple of bad kicks in the Alabama game too. And I said, you've got to upgrade, and you've got to start now. Yeah, you cannot be deficient in that area. So you're not beating Ohio State if you don't win the hidden yardage. And that 11-yard punt in I think it was the third quarter was, that cost them. It was, they went down the field in 3 plays. They got the ball at midfield and they scored. So that can't happen here at Michigan. You can't have the stupid penalties. You can't have the after play stuff. The Jason Barham penalty should have cost them and didn't. They were very fortunate.
No, we got lucky on that. But I'm going to say this. That young man should have been taken out of the game, and he had to sit there a significant amount of time to understand what he did. Because he should have, honestly, Chris, he should have got thrown out the game.
He should have.
He should. I'm
I
just saying.
couldn't believe he didn't. Yes. And instead, in the post game, they were making excuses for him. Well, the official put a couple hands on him and came at him. I don't give a crap. You can't do that. You got to control your emotions, and you've got to have a guy saying this is unacceptable and get your butt over here. And it was the same thing with Brandon Hillman in the Nebraska game when he had a huge penalty for taunting the sideline at safety, and then he didn't call up the field for a play. No. And I'm calling him over there, and I'm saying, you just hurt your team. Could you imagine Bo Schembechler?
No, I can imagine Bo Schembechler. That's what came through my mind. We'd be right off the field. He'd probably send you up the tunnel. I'll see you at halftime, son. I'll see you at halftime. We'll see what happens.
Yep. And you can't have that. You've got to be more of a disciplinarian. I know you want to be a player's coach, and that's good too. And I don't mean to pile on him here because he's learning on the job, right? And we are comparing everything to what Jim Harbaugh accomplished here, but that stuff cannot fly here or anywhere if you want to have a serious program. So hopefully that stuff gets cleaned up. And but you got a young quarterback to build around, but like you said, Jamie, they've got to go out and get a lot of talent at a lot of different positions. It's not just a player here or a player there where
we're not a player
gaps.
away. We are players away. We are coaches away. We are. I mean, look, we got to bury the Jim. I don't want to say we got to bury it. We got to put the Jim Harbaugh years up on the mantle now. That's over. That's done.
Yep.
The mystic of the Ohio State game, we got to put that back there, and we got to want it again. It's the team that wants it the most, and we wanted it these 4 years. Now you got to want it again.
Yep.
And you got to find it.
They got by last year with some of you had a defensive line last year that basically won you the ball game, right? Down in Columbus, and with them All-Americans. And I said, that's weird. That's where those are difference-making positions too. If you don't get allow them a pocket like Julian Sayin had on Saturday, where he can step up, your edges are going upfield. It seems look like the same thing every time, right? They're going upfield. He steps up. He's got all day to throw. Could have made a sandwich, every cliche you want. And, those guys just weren't good enough. And again, credit Ohio State. They were ready for this to end. They were sick of hearing about it, however many days, 2,800, 2,900 days.
And you got to give credit to Ryan Day. I'm sorry. I don't want to, but I give credit to those who get credit. He was classy. He could have let his team have at it. And I get it, but he did not let his team have at it. Walked over to Jerome and told him, I will not let anything happen. We will celebrate inside our stadium. They're over there with the fans right now, and we'll take care of it from there.
Yep, and I give him credit for that too. And I'm not going to erase a lot of the stuff that he said for the previous 5 years.
No,
and the things
I know.
He did.
I get
however,
that.
I agree with you, but I agree with you 100%. And I was like, okay, that's the way that Michigan used to do it. And that's the way that it should be done. And there should be a respect after the game where, you shake hands and, man, you have a lot of respect. You hate them and you want to beat them as a team, but as individuals, you shake hands and you tip your cap because that was a well-played football game by them. And you want to win. And the schools hate each other and the fan bases and everything else. But as you have a lot of respect for the guys that you're going up against on Saturday.
Exactly.
So, on that other team. Yep.
You do.
So, but I agree with you. And it was funny because it looked like some of the best defense they played there in the second half was defending that block M instead of before leaving the field.
No, they did. No, look, I get it. I understand it. I would, if I was a player, I would have been down on that field too, because I would have remembered what happened last year and everything like that. I get that. But that being said, look, if you're ready to fight, you must have you really didn't drain yourself of playing then. Yeah. Nobody. I get it. I do get it. But we've got to talk about the next phase of Sherrone Moore. Where does he go from now? Where does he go from here? What's he going to do? How is Bryce Underwood going to, get better? I'm hoping he gets better. It's bowl practice. We made a bowl. We're probably going to the Citrus Bowl. It'll be an interesting you either got Texas or maybe Vanderbilt. It's going to be one of those two.
Yep. And it's going to be a well-coached team and with a lot of good players, and you got to see what you got. This is the time now to evaluate. And I'm always like, you want to win the game, right? And more than anything now, these are exhibitions, but I want to see what some of these young guys can do. And if they don't have it, right? If you don't have the talent, then this is now the time that you have to identify where we need help next year, because the standard here is to make the playoff, right? And next year's a huge year for Sherrone Moore. With that schedule, think about this. They go to Oregon and they go to Ohio State.
Right.
They're going to be significant underdogs in those two games. So if you lose those two, Jamie, that leaves you no margin for error in any of the other games to make the playoff, because a 3-loss team probably isn't making the playoff. And you still have to play Iowa. You have to play Indiana. You have to play Penn State. You have to play Oklahoma. murderer's row schedule next year, where you're like, okay, it's just you cannot afford to miss a playoff 3 years in a row. So this is a huge off season. It's a huge year coming up for Sharon. You hope that they can get that 10th win, because that still matters, right?
It does matter.
And you can beat a good team. Yep, it does. So, but you got to develop some of these young guys, because there was some development lacking too. Some guys that I thought they didn't get as much out of as they should have. Maybe you get some of your stars back. Who knows what's going to happen with Rod Moore, right? Maybe he redshirts and comes back, and then you build around him. But overall, you need a talent influx. You need an attitude adjustment a little bit, and you need to get back to being the hungry team, like you said, that we saw from 2021 to 2023.
No, you're right. And these guys know there's a lot of guys that played on that team. But we are the youngest team in the Big Ten, and they've got to be taught. They've got to be. That's why I said, hey, Sharon knows how to do this. Hard decisions have got to be made.
Yep.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I look, he's the head coach, so he needs to make hard decisions. And hard decisions need to be made. They got to make this team accountable again. They got to make these kids want to be out there on the field. They got to make these kids they got to find some kids that want to be Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah. And elite coaches, Jamie, have made tough decisions. Look at John Beilein. Went through, and the basketball side went through 2 or 3 staffs, right, before he found the right one.
Exactly.
Jim Harbaugh, how many iterations of the staff did he have?
That's what I said.
100%.
Jim Harbaugh, coaches moved every year he was here. Every year. Yep. But the one time he moved, the one time was the big one in 2020. He made all of that movement after the COVID year. Made movement, and we were like, wow. And it made those kids accountable. Hutch was ready to play. It was football, Michigan football, and Michigan football only.
Yep, you cannot have a weak link anywhere if you want to compete against Ohio State, and that's the goal. Right? No matter what anybody says, well, it's not fair. That the rival happens to be the best program in college football. Well, it's not about fairness, right? Is that what you aspire to be? And you remember? And of course, it was a different era. But do you remember Bo making any excuses in 1969 when he came here? And he said, "No, we're going to beat these guys. They're the best. That's what we aspire to be, and we're going to do it." And you saw the 10-year war. You got to figure out what that is, and you got to, in the administration too, has to figure out how serious are we about football here, right? How seriously are we about winning championships every year, and what is our standard, right? Is it okay to make you know what, leaders and best is the way I come back to it, and that's what John Beilein said. He said, you know what, when they were talking about Hemming and Hahn about facilities, and well, we can't do this and we can't do that. He goes, well, are we leaders and best in just some things, or are we leaders and best in everything? And to me, you've got to identify. You've got to have every resource put into it. Otherwise, you're going to be trailing. We're going to go through another period, not of maybe losing 16-17 to Ohio State, but you're going to lose to them more than you win, and that's not acceptable to me.
I got it. Before we go, Pat Fitzpatrick. What do you think?
Pat Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald, excuse me.
That's okay. I like him. I do. I always liked him. I liked his teams when they were tough. I don't know. He lost big in his last 3 years there, but now at Northwestern, but at Michigan State, it's different. I think that it's going to be a much higher floor for them. I don't know that it's going to be as high a ceiling as they want, but to me, he's a good, solid coach, a Midwest guy. I think the culture will be better there. I think a lot of the extracurricular crap will stop, which I appreciate. So I've talked to him many years at Big Ten Media Days, and he impressed me. So I think it's a pretty good hire for them.
They got a new thing out, colorized thing for Sparta. That's what it's called. They're going to raise $1 billion for Sparta.
Well, they're going to try. You could say you're going to, but when it comes to writing checks,
I did my reading. I did my lesson. I'm like, I got to look this stuff up.
Yeah, $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I was like impressed. I'm like, for Sparta.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. They have big goals and aspirations, but a lot of teams do and a lot of programs do. And it all comes down to winning. People write checks when you win. They don't write checks when you lose. So he's got a rebuild ahead of him. It's not like he's bringing half a team with him like Signetti did at Indiana.
Oh,
so
that's right. He doesn't have James Madison to bring.
Exactly. He's got nothing, and these guys are hitting the transfer portal, and so he's starting from scratch. So they better be a little bit patient with him anyway.
This is the one time you don't want to Google a coach.
Exactly. So don't Google car wash.
Yeah,
no. I miss you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yes, you do.
Chris, really appreciate you coming on, being a part of the M Zone. We agreed too much, I think.
Well, we always do, Jamie, and I always appreciate it.
Hey, am I going to see you? Am I going to see you Saturday over at Yost for that big 1v3 matchup?
You will, and you know what? Actually, you probably won't because I'll probably be covering a basketball game, right? Aren't they
wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's got to get the number 3 team in the country.
That's great. It's crazy, isn't it? And you got to give more credit for that, man. Look at what hockey and basketball are doing, and we can talk about football, but man, those other sports are humming too. Women's basketball.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
What, number 7, Miz, or 6?
Number 6.
Yeah.
6. I thought so. Yeah.
Fun to watch.
That's
right.
Right.
Fun to watch. So I guess we move on, and we got one more bowl game, but it's basketball season now, baby, and hockey.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you next week.
You bet. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Chris Ballas from the Wolverine magazine, Wolverine.com. We got to go to a break. We come back. We got my man Zach Shaw.
Everyone, get your pens and your paper and pencils out because it's year end. It's year end test time.
It's time.
It's time.
What? It's mid-year. Is it mid-year?
No, I think this is final exam time at this point. We're in December.
Right. That's
right. For the kids,
that's right.
This is final semester. This semester, finale stuff here, bro.
Exactly. On the other side, you're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050. There's Ben Johnson right there. Johnson on TV.
Clear on the radio.
And 50.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris. Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler. And you got Big Sweet. Hey, I'm going to tell you what, I get behind you, they won't be able to see me, and then I'm popping and I'm gone.
I'm proud of it. Wide body.
I'm just saying. And joining us is the professor himself, Zach Shaw, from 24/7 Sports as well as CBS Sports. Zach, what's going on, man? What'd you grade it? What did you grade the game, or have we gotten there yet?
I don't think I put together a team letter grade yet. I mean, I got some opinions about some things that went well and more things that did not go well.
Let's get into it then. Tell me what went well. Tell me some things that went well, Zach.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jordan Marshall, that's going to be a big what if. I mean, he gets in there, first 2 drives of the game, 61 yards on 7 carries.
Yes.
And guys, this is the number 1 run defense in the country. Entering this week, they'd only given up 4 carries of 20 yards or more. Jordan Marshall had 2 of them in his first 4 carries.
Wow.
So, no, I mean, I think if you're looking for a positive, I think the bright spot looks like he's going to be a star player next year. And offensive line, I mean, we saw the growth all year. They had, 6 freshman starters this year across the whole offense. So, I think that's an upside. That might be it. So, to be honest with you, I mean, I think the run defense, I think
let me ask you a
held
question.
on as long as it could, but I think, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, Zach. On the 2 series that we had the ball early on, one was after the kickoff, and Jordan ran his one. If we score on either one of those, a field goal and that puts us up 10, do you think that'd have been a different game, or am I just thinking I'm just overthinking this?
I see the argument, because that suddenly puts Ohio State. It's one thing to be on your heels. I mean, you guys know if you're a defense and you give up a touchdown, you're it's hard not to hang your head. But if you hold them to a field goal, that's like a nice little consolation.
Right, it's
prize.
6-0 as opposed to being down 10-0.
Yeah, and you just think mentally, it's like, okay, Marshall had that big carry, but we rallied, we had the goal line stand. We held him to a field goal. Like that's, obviously it's still points, but you're I think there's a little bit more morale if you're a defense, if you've held them to field goals twice. And that is what Ohio State's done all year. They're the best red zone defense in the country. I know Texas and Washington, they had 6 trips to the red zone against Ohio State. They scored 1 touchdown. So that's their move. But yeah, that's, that. And then obviously I don't feel like getting into it, but the Jeremiah Smith touchdown replay review thing. I mean, right there, that's, if they score a touchdown and then they get help, get the ball back. I mean, that's a few points of a swing, and then halftime looks different.
No, and you're right. And I'm not taking anything away from Ohio State. They won the game. I'm giving it to them. But if you're the one that put out there what the referee said. Now, if you and I could see the ball bobble, and Big Sweet saw the ball bobble, I mean, and they say they didn't have technology that showed that ball moving. So who's telling a lie?
Well, they probably didn't have. I mean, because if you overturn a touchdown in a game that 16 million people are watching,
right?
You bet it better be crystal clear. Now, I would argue
it was crystal clear for me, bro. I don't know who else didn't see it. I mean, the ball moved. And he stepped out of bounds. I mean, if you run, they ran. Wait a minute, Fox ran it back. I'm going to tell you, 16 times, Zach. 16 times. I'm just telling you. I counted. I counted.
It should be the fumble, right?
Right.
Like the real rules official. No, I get it. I also hate that rule in general, so I'm not as I'm not quite as big on diving into it.
No, and I'm not going to dive into it, but I'm just saying, ABC. I mean, the ACC has it right. It should be open to the public, and we should be hearing what they're talking about and what's going on. And because I'm sure they were saying, we can't do that. 16 million people are watching this game. No, we can't overturn this. You know it as well as I do.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But I guess where I'm going with that is this game. I mean, it's kind of like a World Series game, like a pitcher's duel, where it's like every single play just makes such a big swing in the morale and the momentum that each team carries. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't sit here and say Michigan would have won.
No, I'm not saying they would have won.
But
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying it could have put that thought back in Ohio State's head, like, damn, here we go again. We thought we just putting that thought. Look, I'm taking nothing against Ohio State. I even congratulated them. They were the better team that day.
Yeah.
No,
I agree. I mean, but also let's call a spade a spade. The offense was just not moving.
No, we were not.
Out of the game.
Look, I agree with you. Offensively, we got to do better. I don't know who was calling the players. I don't know whose playbook this was. Was it the former offensive coordinator, or was it the coordinator that we hired to do this offense? But we weren't doing what we were supposed to do. I heard that we were supposed to pass the ball a little bit more, but we got into the running game, and it was so good to us. Well, it stopped being good when Jordan Marshall hurt his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's when we should have started throwing the ball. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think the stat that's crazy, because obviously everyone's talking about Bryce Underwood, but Andrew Marsh, guys, he led the Big Ten in receiving yards.
Yes.
Over an 8-week stretch.
Yep.
He led the Big Ten, 611 receiving yards. I believe it was 8 weeks. No one else in the Big Ten had more. 0 targets on Saturday. 0. Like, that is just crazy to me. I mean, and Ohio State's a great defense. I wasn't expecting Michigan to go out there, and I think I predicted Michigan to score 14 points. So you kind of know where I'm at. I didn't expect them to have an amazing day, but you got to go down swinging with a guy who's leading the Big Ten in receiving yards for 8 weeks.
0 targets.
Right. 0.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's. I'm trying to find a word for that. That's despicable.
Maybe. I mean, not to sound too harsh, but it's just not a good use of the talent that you've got, because he's had an amazing year. I mean, it's just.
He's had a great year. He's had an incredible year as a freshman.
Yeah.
And I don't think he played the first 3-4 games, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, so that, no, it's, and then like against, what was it, Northwestern, he had 15 targets.
Right.
So they clearly, Bryce Underwood was comfortable throwing to him. And I know Ohio State's they're probably scheming so that he's not open as often as possible, but still, I mean, force feed it to him if you can.
Throw it over there and let's see where he can go. Give him a 50-50 ball. I mean, once, maybe twice if you have to.
Yeah, no, that was. There were 2 stats that blew my mind after the game. One was 0 targets for Andrew Marsh. The other, on the other side, the pass rush, 2 snaps where Julian Sayin was under pressure out of 27. Just 2.
Wow.
Just for your guys' reference, this is a Pro Football Focus stat. Michigan's opponents have averaged 19.3 snaps under pressure per game all season. Ohio State had 2. I mean, guys, the photographers on the sidelines, their jerseys were more dirty after the game than Julian Sayin. He wasn't knocked down at all.
Wow.
Well, we've known that. We've known if you can't move the Ohio State quarterback, and he can look like the Statue of Liberty and just deliver the ball, they have the receivers to catch the ball. They have the receivers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can have a great defensive back, and I mean, just the game of football, you're not supposed to be covering a guy like Jeremiah Smith for 6, 7, 8 seconds. I mean, if you're having to be on him, man coverage for that long, he's going to be open. I mean, let's face it. And so yeah, no, this is not to take away from the season that Derek Moore and Jayshon Barham and TJ Guy had. They were pretty effective all year, but the 3 of them combined for 0 pressures on Saturday. That's just, I mean, one, hats off to Ohio State's offensive tackles. They made some money on Saturday for their futures, but also you got to have, if you don't have pressure from your edge rushers, you're probably never going to beat Ohio State.
No, it's been proven. We've seen that act many years, many times. I mean, It was Hutchinson and
Ajabo
who really put the pressure on him, and then we've had it ever since. But now you're telling me we didn't put the pressure on. We just didn't.
Two is just insane too, because even 2018. I mean, we all know Dwayne Haskins. It felt like he had the cleanest jersey you've ever seen from a quarterback at the end of the game. Even he was under pressure for 6 snaps.
Right.
So for two is just it's almost kind of impressive that Michigan kept it as close as they did, just for how
is Ohio State up for the Joe Morrow Award?
I mean, they should be.
I'm just saying. I'm asking. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible. That is an incredible step.
Yeah, and not in the good way, not in the way fans want to hear, right? So, but yeah, no, I mean, I think the defense, like the secondary, I think they held on as long as they could, but there's only so much you can do. And then, I think that 12-minute drive, like that was probably the most deflating drive against Michigan I've seen in several years, because that's pretty much what Michigan likes to do. I mean, they want to have a 20-play, 12-minute drive where they're just, methodically just, like paper cut, and they only got a field goal out of it. So it's like, it wasn't even like this, I'm sure, some Michigan fans were probably like, please just score the touchdown, like end this 12-minute drive that seemed like it took 45 minutes. So yeah, I think, credit to Ohio State offensive line. I feel like they came to play, and Bo Jackson, I mean, I'd watched him all year. I was decently impressed with him, but his balance, the way he can kind of almost shrug off, like honestly, like decent tackle attempts, and obviously there were some arm tackles and stuff too, but felt like he was grinding, and just some things we expected, but I think the pressure and then 0 targets for Andrew Marsh, those were 2 things that one probably can't happen if you actually want to beat Ohio State.
Right.
2, little surprising just given what we'd seen the last 6, 7, 8 weeks on both fronts.
Okay, Zach, I've been on this for 2 days. I've been on this thing that Sharon Moore's got to go look at himself in the mirror and find out, what did I do? Assess himself, evaluate himself. And then he's got to evaluate his coaches. He's got to evaluate his team, what he needs, what he doesn't need, what he has, and evaluate. So and you're the perfect guy I can do this with. So when Sharon's got to do is he's got to delegate more. He's got to become an administrator, not just a coach, but he's got to be an administrator. He's got to deal with everybody. He's got to coach the coaches who coaches the players, but he coaches the players too. He emphasizes what the coaches do, okay? Because the coaches understand what he's looking for. And when I say that to you, he's got to replace some coaches, because he's got to ask himself in that mirror, do I have the best coaches that I need to get back to the championship?
Yeah, I think that's the perfect question he should ask. And I'm not here to name names.
No, I don't want names. Coach. I don't want names. I'm just saying, you agree with that, right?
I do. I mean, you have to look at every coach and say, is this a national championship winning coach at this position?
Right.
Because I actually think that 2023 team, I think they actually had it at just about every spot.
Yes.
I mean, I again, like D-line felt like, that was a proven, established coach that NFL teams were calling. I think that's the thing, is you really want a coaching staff that you have to almost like fight to keep them on staff, because NFL teams.
Somebody wants them. NFL wants them. Other colleges want to bring him as a coordinator. Different things like that, right?
Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it, and I think ultimately what Sharon needs, in addition to championship caliber assistants, is I think he needs people he can really trust, because I think what we've seen is Michigan. I mean, we saw they did the things differently offensively this year. They did throw it more. They did. They improved in certain areas. I think even defensively, I thought some of the secondary looks were improved. I think there was a lot of stuff. And then in the ranked opponents, in the ranked matchups, it felt like Michigan kind of shelled up a little bit. And we've seen they've played 9 ranked.
That's the coaches. That's coaching, and coaches have got to get players ready. Remember when they used to take over people's stadiums? Get ready.
Yeah.
They would rock that play. If they played music going into the fourth quarter, that fourth quarter music was owned by Michigan.
Yeah. They still kind of do that. I think the energy, honestly, is still there. But what I think the problem is, I don't think Michigan's the best version of itself schematically in those games. I think there's a almost a subconscious effort to try to win these games like 20-17, because guys, in these 9 ranked opponents or 9 games against teams that finished in your ranked in the last 2 years, they have yet to score 20 points. They have yet to get 325 yards of offense.
We need explosive offense.
The only games that they've won were like 19-13 against Alabama, 13-10 against Ohio State. So, I guess the big question for me is that what Michigan wants to be? That whenever they play a ranked team, they better hold them to 13, 10.
They put them in the phone booth and they jab each other. That's all. They just in the phone booth.
Yeah. Like I just don't trust Michigan to be able to go punch for punch in some of these back and forth games. So I think I do think there's a lot of soul searching, and I think some of it is going to be, emphasizing different parts of your culture, because I still think Michigan's culture is pretty good. I don't think this needs like an overhaul.
I'm not saying it, but it's got to become Sharome's team, not Jim Harbaugh's.
Sure.
We're still trying to put it in people's face that we're going to run no matter what. No, we have a 5-star guy. We have a guy. I'm going to say this, and I may be right, I may be wrong, but when you have a 5-star quarterback, and that 5-star quarterback isn't throwing the ball, isn't getting the ball down the field, guess what? Other 5-stars don't follow. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I get it. We're Michigan, and we like to run the ball when we know we can open up holes and go down the field. I like that, but we got to be able to throw the ball too, because we brought this young man here. And we need to use him.
Earlier, you said that if he doesn't get used properly, you really think there's a chance he can leave?
Go home. Yeah. Why wouldn't he leave? You're not using my assets. I'm not just here to hand the ball off. I'm here to throw the damn ball.
True.
I'm putting the ball down the field. That's why I was here.
Yeah.
Right? The number 1 overall draft pick, right? I would assume.
If he wants to be that, he got to throw the ball.
That's true.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to a guy who threw for. I mean, 2,200 yards as a true freshman isn't terrible, but
it's not.
To your point, Jamie. To your point, you can be a strong, physical, blue-collar team and still throw the football.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
exactly.
So that's what I mean. Certain parts of the culture I think are good, but you got to emphasize other parts of the culture. I mean, they definitely had games where they won with the pass. I mean, that Rose Bowl drive against Alabama, one of the greatest drives in Michigan history. There were some big pass plays in there.
Hey, Blake Corum was open in that flat area, and he caught a pass running up the field. I'm just telling you.
And Roman Wilson made that excellent overhead catch. So they got to be balanced. And I will say this is a hugely important task for Sharon. They have a young team. That's understandable, and that's honestly kind of exciting for the future. But this offseason, you got to find a way to get those freshmen to look really good as sophomores.
Zach. No. It's got to be this bowl game. You got to serve. Okay. You got to serve notice. You got to get Chip Lindsey to put a plan together for this bowl game, because you're going to be the top bowl game. So you need to build around this kid, Bryce Underwood, and make sure he showcases his whether it's Vanderbilt or Texas. It's going to be one of those games that everybody's going to want to watch.
Yeah,
you showcase that young man.
The underdog.
Exactly, but you showcase this, and you got to have what did they say? You got to have balls to you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
To the walls.
Yes.
To the wall.
I'm just saying, you showcase it now, Zach. You don't know. I don't want to wait till next year. I want my cake and eat it too. I want it in the bowl game.
Yeah. Step one is bowl. And then you got to, I mean, it's true with the offensive linemen too. Sharon likes to say they're not freshmen anymore. I think the bowl game is a great opportunity.
Exactly. We're going to showcase them. We're going to showcase them. That's what you got to do. I mean, you got to showcase them and let them play. I mean, look.
Plus, you show it enough. The transfer portal opens January 2nd.
That's what I'm
saying.
On
a show, you show some growth.
We need at least two
to come here.
We need at least two receivers, two bona fide receivers that can get downfield and make plays. And you got to showcase that you're going to throw the damn ball.
Yeah, I'm with you. But
I'm just saying. And you can't, hey, Marsh can't go, and he can't go without targets. I'm just saying. Not in that game. Not in that game, and not in that bowl game. I'm sorry. I'm putting pressure on Michigan, but look, it's time. It's time. Bryce has 1 full year under his belt now. 1 full year. Now, I'm saying this again. You ain't throwing that ball with him next year. He may not be here the following year. I'm just saying, he may not be. I'm not saying I know something. I don't know, but I'm saying, if he was my son, what would I do? Just saying.
Yeah, being the number 1 overall pick pays a lot more than colleges will. So that he's got to focus on. I mean, he's got to focus on what's in front of him. But also,
I think he needs to focus. I think I'm not worried about his focus. I know where his focus is. I know he wants to be the best player in the country.
Yeah,
he is. He has said that many a times. Feed him. It's time to get behind the quarterback now. I know we want to what? We want to smash. Forget the smash. Let's play some football. Let's do some balance. Balance will do better than smash.
Yeah, first half of Saturday was 19-5 run pass. That's not good enough, man. No. That's not good enough to win. That's also not good enough, as you said, from the I guess the big picture side of things either.
Just saying. That all I'm saying is that we need to take a look at ourselves and see what we're doing. And I'm sure they're doing it. I'm hoping they do it.
It's a new day and time, man. I'm telling you, the coordinators and coaches, head coach, have to be difference makers now.
Yeah.
They cannot, I mean, I know that's a Michigan tradition running the ball, but man, you gotta adjust with the times.
Right. This is a new era. This is the NIL.
Yeah.
And you got a quarterback that can do it.
Go ahead, Zach.
Just more big picture, not just throwing the ball. I mean, I hope Michigan, for the fans' sake, I hope they realize just how out of it they were in their 3 losses this year. I mean, they were 9-3. That's not a lot of schools would probably be okay with 9-3, but in those 3 losses, they were outscored by 15.7 points per game. And they were outgained by 189 yards per game.
Wow.
It's one thing to lose 3 games. It happens. We've seen, things. I mean, there's a lot of schools that are right outside the playoff picture that lost 2 or 3 games, but to be that far out of it in all 3 games, that's I guess what I would say is I hope Michigan has the same sense of urgency that the fans do, because I think the fans see it, but Michigan, obviously, you're inside, you're celebrating the wins, you're looking at your record, you're in the playoff picture to the last week of the season technically, but yeah, they've got a little further to go than I think they wanted at this point in year 2 of Sharon Moore's tenure. So yeah,
you're right.
I just wanted to put some numbers there because I think they're a little farther away than a 9-3 record might suggest.
Appreciate that, Zach. I did have them at 9-3 this year. Not that
I didn't know USC was going to be so good. I had them at 10-2. I thought USC was going to need another year.
Well, he was on the hot seat too. No, I mean,
yeah.
He was really. I mean, they were like, Lincoln Riley did crap up here. All the money they gave him, all the NIL and everything like that. So Lincoln Riley had to prove himself.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I mean Look, I get it, but Zach, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for the numbers. That just puts it in perspective for us.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. If you ever want to talk basketball, I feel like it's almost the other way.
Oh no! Next week, it's all about basketball, brother. So bring the notebook. Hey, we can talk about talk about Mara. He's that UCLA guy. I'm sorry, Larry. What school did you go to? Where'd you go?
UCLA.
Yeah, I thought so. I want to talk about that young man because he looks like he's a rim defender.
Hey, that's a use him or lose him guy too.
Yeah,
UCLA didn't use him right.
Well, being the second.
Okay, guys, that's enough.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, Zach, thanks a lot for being on. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, Zach.
That's Zach Shaw from 24/7 Sports as well as CBS Sports. Okay, everybody, listen to me. Bottom line with Thomas Gwines is coming on early, just like Nick Baumgardner.
Yeah.
This man's got stuff to do, Alec. I'm explaining right now. So he's coming on because he's got to work on Thursday, but he's coming on special for y'all. He annoyed the crap out of me to make sure he was on. It was supposed to be Wednesday. It changed to Tuesday. I had to tell Miz. Miz goes, what? So bottom line with Thomas Gwines on the other side, and you even get to talk to Thomas.
You do what your linemen tell you to do. You hear me, son?
I do. I do what the linemen tell me to do. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
What's up, TG?
Miz, can I get my mic? There we go. Now I can.
I turned it on for a minute.
Yeah, there we go.
I figured that, I didn't.
There we go.
Wasn't sure what the deeds were going to be,
There we go. All
What's
I
up,
want to
TG?
say, hey, we are struggling.
You know you're live.
I know.
Anyway,
I
we
said
are
struggling.
We are. Look, that's my new thing. We need to take a long look in that mirror.
Well,
What do you see?
What I see is, and I think you guys brought upon some very poignant and pungent points in the last segment. We curl up when the moment gets big. We get uber conservative when other teams are balling out and we are trying to survive instead of thrive.
Well, I get the Oklahoma curling up. I get that. I do. I don't understand the USC curl up, but this Ohio State thing, you've been whooping their ass. Excuse me. I'm not going to say anything. Because I'm a cuss.
Hey, look, they say people that use a lot of expletives are highly intelligent individuals.
Okay. Well, I'm smart as a mother farmer right now.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, I'm glad you said that way.
I
because
said
did not
mother
want to
farmer.
get a phone call from our upper management going, what is he doing on the internet right now?
Hey, y'all get a call. Y'all get a call at Mock Jesus. Shamey?
I didn't say it.
Hey, you know that one song by D'Angelo, right?
Oh yeah.
You sexy. Anyway, yeah, I don't really understand. Well, it also goes back to the time of possession.
Yeah.
O State had the ball for damn near 3/4 of the game. And for me, that's one of the things that caused me. We couldn't get off the field. If it was either we were getting beat big on plays and like cats were just super wide open, or we would do something stupid with like headbutts.
Remember a long don't.
Come on, man. Some of these things, and this is
that's not that kid has not been coached. This is Michigan. We don't do that.
Well, but it goes back to what you guys were talking about before when you're talking about culture. So Jimmy understood it, but I think what Jimmy was really trying to do, Jimmy was trying to etch his own name into the book of
the record book
of Michigan. No, not even the record book, but just the book of coaching. Like to not have to be in lockstep with Bo. I respect that. He tried to be his own trailblazer. Whereas there's some things with Coach Moore that I don't see an overt level assuredness with himself. It just doesn't present like that to me constantly on the sidelines and interviews, things of that nature. It doesn't necessarily just exude that. And I could be 100% wrong, right? I'm not in the meetings. I'm not at practice. This is my perception. And because of that, I don't really know who's driving the car, because of the fact that, yes, this is my team. This is how we're doing it. Are you giving your assistants carte blanche and you're just going along with the program? Or do we have that hands-on approach as to this is what we're going to be doing? I'm excited to talk about the offensive line play at certain points, because I'm like, now we're rolling. And then all of a sudden we get the momentum and we stall.
That's because that boy got hurt.
Who got hurt?
Jordan Marshall. As soon as he got hurt and he was out the game, you could see Cusdo came in and had a couple more long runs.
Yeah.
But you could see it. The was going down. The meter was like it was like it's a
and for me, that's the issue, because I was blessed when I played. I had a stable of backs.
We're going to be coming back here in a moment, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, we ready to come back too, because we're going to let the people have it.
All right.
For the 8 people that are tuning in right now, we definitely appreciate your attention.
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, best guy in the Bizzler. And you got Mr. West Coaster himself, Big Larry Lee. We call him Big Sweet. And this is Bottom Line with Thomas Gwine. And here is Mr. Thomas Gwine.
J-Mo, quick question. Before Bottom Line with Thomas Gwines, had you ever heard that song before?
Hell no.
You ain't know nothing about Stevie
I ain't
Ray?
know nothing about, dude. You guys do. Miz, he's like, Miz, fix me something up. Give me music.
Okay.
And he'll give it to me.
TG, there's a song by Stevie Ray I love. TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's a bad thing.
I love that out. I love that out.
Hey, look.
Favorite.
Hey, look.
6'7".
Hey, wow.
He just said 6'7".
Yeah, I'm clear.
6'7".
I'm gonna
And now the neighborhood kids are going to be coming up to you, Jamie.
Jamie, guess what? It's all you do is 6'7" on the radio video thing. Mr. Miz did it too.
And that's why we say FTK. But anyway, so it's a nice baby grand piano back there too, big bro. I see what you did back there.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to be like you when I grow up. But let's jump into this football game, right? Coming back onto the air, and when we were talking about when players get hurt and when Jordan got hurt and went out the game, and you said that there was a visible decline in play, or even just from an emotional standpoint. I think this kind of goes back to what we're talking about with culture when we start talking about the University of Michigan. As I was saying before, I was blessed to play with a stable of backs, from the Ricky Powers to the Tyrone Wheatleys, Biaka Batukas, Chris Howards, Clarence Williams, Chris Floyd, all of those guys in the backfield. And for us up front, it didn't matter who was in the backfield. I remember playing against the Buckeyes when I don't know if Scotty Dries got hurt in the game or got hurt in the game prior, but then Greasy came in and he was our quarterback.
I remember that.
And so at which point in time, again, it didn't matter who the quarterback or the running back was. our job was to keep the quarterback clean and to open up holes for the running back. And so one of the most apropos, beautiful things that I saw in the opening quarter of the Michigan team from down south game was we ran good old Plymouth, and it wasn't the type of counter tray you see today with the tight end and a back or whatever going into motion. We actually pulled the backside guard and tackle, got good down blocks up front, kick out, tackle up inside the hole, got massive yardage up front. We are off to the races. The Wolverines have all the momentum on their side. And lo and behold, we have a couple more big plays, and then inevitably we stall. And we're, instead of getting touchdowns, we're settling for field goals. I know you guys were talking in the earlier segment. We don't have the bandwidth to get into track meets with teams and to really try to go a basketball style of game, if you will, where, as you so eloquently articulated, we want to be in the phone booth and just trade body shots for body blows, so to speak. But when we find a team that refuses not to play that style of football with us, as the Buckeyes did, and I believe that was really their downfall last year, that Ryan Day was really trying to prove Coach Holtz wrong by trying to, hey, we are a tough team, we can do this. When you had stellar skill positions and you didn't use them in a way in which they should have been used, was one of the reasons for their loss last year. I feel like this year they came with great balance between the run and the catch. And again, just reference the time of possession, our defense cannot get off the field. We would get some key stops in there, and some way, somehow, be it a penalty or something stupid or blown coverage, whatever it may be, the Buckeyes found a way to get that first down to keep that drive going. So when we start talking about the offensive line play, overall, I thought, based off of what we had and the body of work that I've seen throughout the year, I thought we did okay. We had some really great glimmers of hope, like, okay, we about to put some work in and put the smack down. And then it goes back to me, some of the play calling. I don't really feel like we put our team in the most advantageous position possible to be successful. Like I said before, we were running a lot of gap scheme. We were moving the ball, doing some things, and then all of a sudden we can't get 2-3 yards. I know we gave up a sack, and I'm going to blame that sack on a technique error mixed with youth, mixed with the guy that you were playing across from. He was their version of Aiden, just not as prolific as Aiden was when when Aiden played.
Yep.
But their 97 definitely brought the funk and played a hell of a game. When we're talking about a grade, I'm gonna give us a solid C. I think we definitely could have did better. I would, if we would not have given up that sack, I would have been comfortable saying we had a B- in the game. But that sack definitely brought us down. But as I said before, I'm excited to see the maturation process that takes place within the offensive line. I'm interested to see what happens in the O-line room as far as who's going to be running it next year. I think that is going to be a very, very crucial decision that needs to be made. If to say Coach Newsom is no longer there, who do we bring in? What's going to be that particular pedigree? And then what's going to be the style of play that we're going to be coaching? Again, you see it throughout football for whatever reason. You come off the ball and you kind of turn your hips in the hole and you kind of hope and pray. But we had a couple of times in there where we're actually coming off the ball, low backs, and changing the line of scrimmage. But as I said, time and time again, it's not coming enough for us as far as to have sustainable drives. So let's just look at some numbers right quick. We had a measly 63 yards passing, 8 for 18 versus 233, 19 for 26. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a recipe for disaster. We only had 100 yards rushing off of 24 carries with a 4.2 average versus 47 carries, 186, 4.0 average. Sacks, we had none. They had the one, and we did have one more TFL, tackle for loss, than the Buckeyes, 4 versus 3. Turnovers, that was pretty much a wash. We both threw interceptions. But time of possession, ladies and gentlemen, 19 minutes, 59 seconds, wait for it, versus 40 minutes, 1 second. That to me tells me that there was a complete and utter domination on the offensive side of the ball for the Buckeyes in contrast to the Wolverines. We could not get drives going. We could not sustain drives, and our defense couldn't get off the field. And the 27-9 or whatever the score was is
27-9.
27-9. That's what we ended up with. Interesting game. Interesting to see how we move forward. There are some things that I personally would like to see. I would love to see us bring in a proven quarterback coach for Bryce. I don't think that the game's too fast for Bryce. I think that there are some things just within his mechanics and sometimes his decision-making process that definitely could be improved. But I think if we brought in a quality quarterback coach, we could definitely shore that up. The other pieces with the portal and everything else that's taking place in NIL, hey, we are the University of Michigan. It's not like we don't have deep pockets. We need to go ahead and make some moves as far as bringing in I need 2 more dog offensive linemen. I need 2 more defensive linemen that's going to shore up that middle. And I need a 6'3", 6'5" receiver that can jump out the gym, runs at least a 4.5, and has great hands. So that's my take on the game.
Nice.
On the offensive line coaching thought process, now there's a guy I got a lot of respect for, unless he has declined or something. At one time, Juan Castillo was considered one of the top O-line coaches in the NFL. Is he not playing a major part in the O-line coaching?
No, he's there.
Yeah, but again, and as Jamie says, he's there, but I think that's a delicate balance and dance. It's almost you bring me in as a consultant. Am I a consultant or am I a coach? Am I coaching the guys or am I teaching you how to coach the guys?
Right.
And I think that's the question that needs to be answered. Obviously, we're not in those spaces, or at least I'm not. So 100% agree with you. But when it comes down to it, I think it's about culture. It's about having those juniors and seniors teaching the young guys how to play. Right now, we have the blind leading the blind, in my opinion, and we're kind of stumbling through it, all looking for some glimmer of light. And then from there, we'll make up whatever, progressions we need to make at that particular time. I just don't see that one standout offensive lineman like, hey, follow me, boys. I don't see from a coaching perspective really on any side of the ball where I got people just like, hey, this is how we're going to do it. It's always a situation where who's going to stand up, who's going to make the big play. I don't really see us having that on this team right now. And that's why we're sitting where we're at. And you guys were talking in the earlier segments against OU, SC, now against the Bucks. This is kind of where we're at. And unfortunately, go ahead.
No, we did have barometers. Where are we?
Right.
I mean, Oklahoma was a barometer. I mean, what are we going to? We got to get better. That's what we found out, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we found out. But again, it goes back to I'm okay with losing a game. It's how we lose the game. If I lose a game because you're more talented than I am, I can't stop that. I'm talking about all-out effort all the way through, and still from a coaching standpoint, continuing to try to put our kids in the most efficacious situation possible in order for us to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the times when I look back on some of the things in which we did and some of the stuff we're calling, I'm like, I'm not necessarily seeing that from a guy with a learned eye.
No, I The game we weren't going to win was Oklahoma. The game we didn't show up to play was
SC.
And
why? And when has look, as a Wolverine, I've lost football games. I can't necessarily say we never showed up to play, though.
No, I can say that. I look at that game.
No. I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about
past 10 years.
Right. Okay.
As a Michigan Wolverine, I can't.
Something didn't jive between the players and the coaches or between the players and players. I mean, if you look at that defense, we couldn't tackle. We were
to
just
save our life.
Right.
But I spoke on that during that week. Mm-hmm. We need to go back and just get back to fundamentals.
Right. We had to go back to, and we did.
We had to go back to step one. But is it a culture thing or is it a coaching thing? You telling me as whatever my position is, if my job is to block and or tackle, you telling me I got to go back.
Did we tire them out? Was it the travel? I'm just trying to find out.
Let's not make excuses, ladies.
No, I'm not trying to.
No, not you per se. I'm a big fan. I'm not going to give you an out. You played the game, right? So all that to be said, and SC and UCLA have had to travel east. Other Eastern teams have had to travel west. It's a thing. We all see it. So I'm not going to put it on there. Is it a thing? I guess could be. But, dude, at the end of the day, you're 18 to 22 years old. You got all the free testosterone in the world. You got all the best, sports medicine situations happening. And you should just have the burning desire to go out there and represent for the Michigan Wolverines and be the best that you can be on that day, especially under that level of spotlight and scrutiny. So I can't go with an excuse, for lack of a better word, that we just didn't show up, right? You just didn't play. You didn't play well. So now fast forward, we come here in the Michigan-Ohio State game. I think this past Saturday was a great example of you can't just do it off of emotion.
Right.
You can't just sit up here and try to will your way through some things if you're not technically sound in your play, if you're not judicious within your play calling, if you're not disciplined in your play and how you behave on the field. There were so many different things that took place, and they were actually little things that but gave the Buckeyes big return on investment on their end, just because we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. And that, for me and a lot of other guys, was the frustrating part. Do I feel like the Buckeyes are a better team than us overall? On paper, in some positions, yeah, but again, on paper, because if it was just on paper, why play the game?
Right.
But at the same time, what I saw on the field was we definitely had enough juice to play with those kids.
Did you think we belong on the same field with them?
There's no doubt. I definitely feel like we belonged on the same field. You saw it in the first opening series.
Yes, opening series, and then the interception, getting that ball. But overall,
yeah. Again, they had some standouts, and those standouts are going to do what standouts do.
I get you.
But at the same point in time, you as the coach, you as the adult, if you will, because remember, we're all just kids here.
Right.
You still got to put me in the best position possible based off of what you know about me/us.
Well, we argued, Big Sweet and I, and Miz, we argued we got to dominate the offense and defensive line.
There's no doubt.
But, I mean, we had no pressures.
None.
Zero pressures.
None.
It was
like, Velcro. It was Velcro.
Right. I mean, he just stood there and waited for people to come open.
It was Velcro. D lineman just stuck on offensive lineman. I don't know, man. I really feel like that we definitely could have made it a lot closer game. But again, when your opposing offense holds the ball for 40 minutes.
Yeah. And the weather, wait a minute. I get it. And I know it's cold in Columbus. Everybody, oh, you know it gets cold in Columbus. I'm like, not like Michigan, though.
Again, I don't care about weather. You know, if we want to say it's because it's cold and it's snowing, then that should have been a plus for a team.
No, it should have been for Michigan.
For Michigan.
Should have been plus for Michigan.
Right.
No, I get it. When it was snowing, I'm like, okay, this is what we want.
We wanted.
We wanted that.
Hey, like he said, this is what he wants.
Right.
This is how he gets it.
So
what movie was that, Sweet?
I'm trying. While you were saying it, I was trying to bring it up in my head and I couldn't.
Got that man frozen in down. He got brain freeze. Got him get
Cool hand. Look, let's go now.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Hey, Sweet was like, I was nowhere close to that.
Exactly.
You're right. I wasn't in that category.
You know the movie. What did he have to eat? What was the bet? What did
Cool Hand Luke?
Yes.
And how many did he eat?
And how many did he eat?
Oysters, right?
No, you ain't getting no oysters in
jail.
Well, that wasn't even jail. That was a chain gang prison.
Exactly.
It was boiled eggs, and I want to say it was 100.
Yes, it was 100.
It was boiled eggs, definitely boiled eggs.
Okay.
And he did it.
Yeah, you know, I'm a music guy now. I'm not the movie
well,
guy.
you don't watch movies. Okay, I get it. All right.
Hey, well, you know what?
Great, Bob. See?
Hey, you can be the music guy. I'm the Renaissance guy.
Okay, you do it all.
Yeah. I'm well versed.
I'm the fall asleep in the movie theater guy.
Oh wow!
Oh
okay.
no! You throw popcorn on you.
Right. Get him out of there.
Exactly.
We did that this weekend with my family. We went to see, what's that movie? Now You See It, Now You Don't, or something?
Yeah. It's The Magician.
You made it up.
Magician.
Now, I didn't see it because I don't.
You wasted $25.
What you know about now? I didn't see it because now wow.
I love popcorn though.
It's fiction. We made it up.
Yes, I love
Okay.
it. So the question is, who we playing in the bowl game?
It's either Texas or Vanderbilt.
Who do you want to play?
I want to play Texas.
You want to play Texas?
I always want to play Texas.
Okay. Why not Vandy?
I like Vandy. I mean,
name recognition.
Yeah. I mean,
but Vandy
street
has
cred, and they beat us last year. We need to redeem that.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
I've
got an honest question here.
Okay.
Hear me out here.
Yep.
Hear me out here. Is Diego Paivea's mom going to be at the game?
Yeah, she's going to be there.
Then I want to play Vanderbilt.
Okay. You want to play Vanderbilt?
Wow.
I missed her.
Hi, Mrs. Paivea.
Stifler's mom?
Yeah, I think business is saying it like that.
Hey, I'm good with it.
I'm going to have to do some research.
I'm already opening up my iPad.
That was more of a, hey, Miss Parker.
Sweet. What movie was that from?
Oh, now that's Friday now.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Now, the reason I know that
because it was in LA.
And the reason I know that is because she's a friend of mine.
Okay, you know Miss Parker.
I know Miss Parker.
Miss Parker.
Hey, sweet,
she's married to one of my college buddies. Yeah.
It's fiction. We made it up.
So I know that one.
So yeah, we need to go to a break. We're gonna take some phone calls. Remember, this is Bottom Line with Thomas Gwines, and we'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big 1050.
Clear on the radio.
The best part about that scene was Bernie Mac.
Yeah,
Miss Parker. Hey, the Lord is.
We was praying.
What you know about you get ran out the house by a little person?
Right.
Yeah, that was.
He played in the Santa Claus movie too.
Bad Santa.
Bad Santa. I remember that.
Yep.
And you know what's the name was my boy too before he died, Debo.
Debo.
Yeah.
I saw Debo.
How'd you change?
At
you want some of this, old man?
At the combine.
Did he play football?
No, he was just there, but he did play football.
Zeus in the WWF.
He was
right. He was Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah, I remember that, but did he play football and where?
I think he played at he used to hang around Ronnie Lott and them at SC, but he played at like junior college or something out here.
Okay.
And you know, he was one of the guys, you know, we all used to hang around and everything. And our senior year, we were security guards at the Funk Festival, and it was Ronnie Lott, me, him, and when he became a wrestler though, he changed, man. He started thinking he was bigger than life, and
there he goes. He him with his buddies,
right?
All of his USC buddies.
Yeah,
I'm just working with the USC guys, you know.
Hey, it's crazy.
Yeah, he got cocky, man, and
he turned. Yeah, when he did that,
he went Hollywood on you.
He wore those platforms. Remember?
He went Hollywood after he did a couple of movies. I ran into him in the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and he's trying to big time me. I said, "Oh, you little." I kind of said a few words. I said, "Man, I remember, brother, when you so
the jibber jabbers of the jibber jabbers."
Yeah. So God rest his soul.
So he went big time on you.
Oh, he went big time, man.
Hey, but my question is this: if you had a one-on-one between John Coffey and Debo, who you taking?
I'm taking John Coffey.
Yeah,
Michael Clark Duncan.
In what terms?
Just one, like, you head up, mano y mano. They got the octagon.
Ooh,
1 man, 2 men enter, 1 man
I might
leaves.
take Debo in that one.
You gonna take Debo over?
I ain't taking
over John Coffey.
Over John Coffey. I ain't taking
John Coffey. John Coffey is a gentle soul, though.
Hey, man.
Debo was a lot.
Chain.
Debo was a lot of hot air, guys.
You know Mustafa's calling right now.
Debo was a lot of hot air.
Did you meet Mustafa?
No.
Have you met Mustafa yet? I'm about to introduce you to him.
Well, Miz, you didn't see in Players Club when Michael Clark Duncan was just knocking cats out
That's
the back
Mustafa
of the head.
in the
yeah, I remember that.
That's his son in the red.
Oh,
he got a hidden Ohio State guy.
Wow, is that his son?
Yeah,
that may
show
be
him on the screen. Show him on the screen. We want to see what
that
I've
may
never
be
seen who Mustafa looked
that
like.
may be the mailman's son right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mustafa. Okay.
Nah.
Got on 97 too.
Hey, look, I can't see Mustafa rearing a young man, siring a son that turns out to be a Buckeye fan.
He's got a daughter though.
He was raised in the Buckeye 13-year
8 years when we were losing.
Yeah. That boy had to choose somebody. He goes, I ain't choosing a loser.
Wow. That's tough. Think about it. Like,
dude, they calling you today.
Hey, let's get it. I'm here for the conversation. Let's go.
You got it, dude. They loving you.
But imagine all the great talent that's come through here, and you ain't never beat the Buckeyes.
Who ain't beat the Buckeyes?
That during that time.
I know.
That time span.
I know. We had to stop saying it to them. What's your record?
No, why?
We had to stop doing that because it hurt them.
I don't care.
That was the Rich Rod guys, man. All of them. I mean, Rich Rod. I mean, we had Brady. I mean, damn. You know, Mike Hart went 0 for 4 Ohio State.
Well, hey, J-Mo, I know 2 guys who didn't.
You know what? I can even get in on this one. I didn't go 0 for against Ohio State either.
No, you were 1-1.
1-1, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, the Buckeyes, dude. And you know what? What was crazy? Like, typically, I would have a very visceral reaction to the loss, but this year it was.
You know what? I knew they were going to lose. I just no. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a dick, but I just knew.
Are you being an eggplant? Or are you just being a realist?
I'm being a realist.
See, so I'm all about being pragmatic within your thoughts and
damn, Miz, you got them all in.
I didn't do squat, bro.
He did. Hey, damn,
Miz,
that was good.
Miz was over there double fisting with the phones, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, Miz got
everybody and their brothers and sisters are calling up.
There's
right
Philly
now.
E. There's Philly E.
There's Philly E. I'll get him here in a second. We'll get you guys on in a moment. And lead off with a question, someone that asked on text real quick.
Okay.
So,
all right. You got it.
Let's
This is the M Zone.
And welcome back to the M Zone. Jamie Morris, Matt the Hitman Missler, you know what he does. And Big Shwee. Oh, we got a cornucopia. A whole lot.
LA, California, City of Angels, Hollywood.
Thomas Gwines.
So let's get the text question that came in real quick.
Text question.
Our guy Laron called. Actually, he called up. He wanted me to pass it on real quick. And it was more. Do you think the nervous energy that was rubbed off on Bryce?
Do I think the nervous energy was rubbed off on Bryce? I would say so to an extent, just because he's never played in the game before, and with all of the hype that comes with being in the game. I think it would be unrealistic to say that an 18-year-old freshman would not have some nerves to be participating in this contest. Yet again, I still go back to when you have a great team and a great supporting cast and you got your big bros around you and they see that you may have a little bit of trepidation taking place, that's when those upperclassmen, that's when that position coach comes in. And really, we circle the wagons around you, especially if you are a guy playing a very pivotal role as the quarterback position. So definitely fair to say that nerves were there, but I never want to give players an excuse, be it travel, be it nerves, be it weather. Your job is still to go out there and play the game.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess that was I don't know if that just seemed to be the case, down the stretch or what it was, but that just was something on LaRon's mind at the very least. So, LaRon,
we definitely appreciate the call, good brother, and hope you have a great holiday.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to ask a question in chat is open as well, YouTube and Facebook. So go ahead and get those questions in.
734-998-1050. I'm not going to say that all the time. Jake, what's up, Jake?
What a great day still to be a Michigan Wolverine. I'm really so proud of the team. Even though we lost, I'm still really proud. I'm looking at the glass half full. We still had a good season where we still have the bowl game to improve on and stuff. And I just wanted to say too, I think we're going to get together and win it next year and stuff. I'm looking at the bowl as to get us ready for next year. And I also want to give a congrats out to the Michigan men's basketball and the Michigan women's basketball team for doing a really good job and being ranked number 3 and number 6 in the country. And we are 3 awesome days till we play in basketball. I want to hear you, Wolverine Nation. When I say go, you say blue. Go!
Blue!
Go!
Blue!
Go!
Blue!
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. One game, one play, one moment in time. I'll hang up and listen. Go blue. Win or lose. I'll hang up and listen. Go blue.
Go blue, baby. All right, Mustafa.
How you guys doing, man?
What up, Mustafa?
I love Jake. My man Jake. Listen, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. I'm not going to have a question for you today, but I'm going to have 2 takes.
Okay.
And you tell me, your opinion about that.
Roger that.
First of all, when I heard that the Joe Moore people they were playing Michigan in the semifinal.
Wow. Yes, sir.
I was like, hold on. Let me finish, Jamie. I was like, what are they doing? What's going on here? This don't make sense. We don't look good. But today, when I watch Jake Butt and Devin Gardner, we couldn't run the ball anyway all year. That's not the issue. But every picture they frame, they break down and frame. Bryce has a clean pocket. I mean, the O-line, we may want to have to leave that alone because those guys, they know what they're doing. They just don't select you as one of the 8 best O-line in the country if you're not doing something right. What happened is, in my limited knowledge, I think our quarterback just did not make the O-line look good. He's young. He will get better. And then, I was saying last couple of days, they could not throw the ball to Andrew March. From Devin and Jake, what they showed today, the coaching staff was able to scream open all them guys, McCauley and Marsh, wide open. Bryce just did not see those guys. That's my first point.
Mm-hmm.
My second point is, Thomas, what Jim Harbaugh has the last 3 years before he left was elite coaching staff. As a matter of fact, each one of those guys is coaching in the NFL today.
Right.
Even the special team coach is in Seattle. What about Brian Greasy is not coaching anybody anymore right now?
Hey, you
That's
read my mind.
Man, just like you, Thomas.
You read my mind.
He's a great quarterback coach. Bring him back as a quarterback coach, co-offensive coordinator.
So let's
go from there.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the offensive line. There are definitely times where, and that has always been my point of frustration with this group, was they show you flashes of offensive line superiority, and then we can't get 2 yards. That is all. That's been my issue. We don't have consistency of play. Can we do it? Yes, we proved it Saturday. You know, we definitely opened up with some big runs, but then there's other times where it's like, what are we doing? When I look at when Frazier got beat on the sack, the cardinal principle in offensive line play, especially on pass pro, is to never, ever get beat inside, because it's a direct line to the quarterback. And I get it. He's a redshirt freshman. Kid has a beautiful upside. Still my guy. But in that piece right there, got beat inside quickly and really didn't have any room for recovery. So from me, and because I keep my standard high for offensive line play, I was still a little bit taken back to say that we were in the semifinals from that for the Joe Moore Award. I just didn't see the level of consistent play that would have garnered us such high regard. I'm 100% on board with you as far as the coaching staff goes. But again, that goes back to Coach Moore. These are Coach Moore's guys. So do we need to do a better vetting job in some of these positions? Do we need to let the emotional attachments that some people may have with other people go and get back down to brass tacks? Who is the best person for the job? I think so at this particular point, because you made a very poignant statement in stating that when Coach Harbaugh was here, when you looked at the body work of that support staff, even our weight room guy, everybody's gone to the league. That entire team ate. And as we said, when the team wins, everybody eats. And that even, matriculated its way down to the coaching staff. So 100% on board with you on that one, sir.
All right, 734-998-1050, 734. What's up, Danny? How are you?
Good. I just want to say, Thomas, I love your analysis. I sat there in that freezing cold, and all I kept saying to myself is, how could this kid not have a quarterback's coach? It was I couldn't understand, and here's my question.
Yes, sir.
From one week to the next, I mean, I understand the level of competition between Maryland and Ohio State was totally different, but we were so gelling against Maryland. How come, we couldn't even, pass the ball against Ohio State? Can you please tell me, how can this happen from 1 week to the next?
I think part of it is that we as human beings tend to Jedi mind trick ourselves. It's just like when you go to the doctor's office and the white coat comes in and you normally don't have high blood pressure, and they'll take your blood pressure and it's high. But then after your exam, as long as you didn't get any crazy news, they'll go back and retake it again, and your blood pressure is more along whatever your normal is. I really feel like when we played against Maryland, because there is a perception and expectation to beat Maryland and to go out there and to do well, Maryland did not come in with all the hype. There was no real, other than us losing the game, There was no real consequence, if you will, to that game. Now, when you're coming into the game, all bets are off. You're playing for, as far as a Wolverine or a Buckeye goes, you're playing for that 360 days, 365. I'm sorry, I lost count. Of bragging rights, so to speak, right? And there's a lot that goes on to it because that's all you hear all week. Nobody was talking about Terrapins versus Wolverines. Everybody wanted to get the Terrapins out of the way so that we can have the conversation of Buckeyes versus Wolverines. And if you are a young kid, or you are a person that had not had success in that game, there's no doubt you start to Jedi mind trick yourself into, can I? And, Coach Carr and Coach Gittleson used to talk about it all the time, false enthusiasm. It's like you're whistling through the graveyard. You're telling yourself these things, but in your marrow, you don't believe it. And as I've said time and time again, I was fortunate to be a Wolverine during the time in which I came here because I had seniors that made me believe the Ohio State game really didn't mean that much to me because we were used to winning. And the expectation was for us to win. And by hook or by crook, we were going to find a way to win. These young men right now, even though we're coming off of a 4-season stretch here by beating the Buckeyes, I don't know if we had enough of those upperclassmen that were really able to exude that sentiment in that locker room and really get those kids, those younger guys to buy in.
734-998-1050. Hadley!
Yeah, Thomas, here's an interesting angle. Look at this. I know it's totally different from college, from high school to college. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to look at Bryce Underwood, what he did in high school. He went to 4 state championships and won 3 of them.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure he had his nerves, and I'm sure he had his times where maybe he was a little shaky and here and there, but he won 3 of those things. So do you think it would have helped if during the schedule this year that, let's say we had played Oklahoma on the road and then say a game or so later, then played Ohio State? Do you think Bryce could have had a better game, know what was expected of him, and just, do a lot better? The irritating thing is that he was in before the bowl game last year, practicing all this time with the team and stuff, and all during spring and stuff like that, and he just had too much inconsistency the whole year. He couldn't really, I could be wrong, but he really couldn't put more than 2 games together where everybody's going, oh, wow. So I'd like to get your feedback on that. And now you gave us over your grades. I understand that. If you don't mind, break down the overall grades for both teams, and we'll talk to you. See you.
Roger that, sir. Definitely appreciate the call and the question. I think when you are in high school, some of us get our testosterone drop earlier than other kids. And there's a difference between playing as that stud kid, playing with your peers, and then getting to this level where everybody's a stud. And not only is everybody a stud, but some of these individuals, some of these young men have 2, 3, 4 years of extra seasoning on you. So it's some things that you're not just going to get away with just pure athleticism. At the quarterback position, you have to become a student and an artist of the game. You have to be able to understand the abstract of the play calling. You have to be able to see things that other people aren't really able to see and orchestrate what's taking place out on the field. And in order to become a conductor of that symphony and to be that maestro, I definitely feel like it just either A, you were gifted something that most freshmen don't get as a freshman, or B, you're an older guy that has been able to be seasoned, and now all of these things start to slow down and your natural God-given ability are able to come to bear. When you ask about giving grades for both teams, again, I got to give an A to the Buckeyes on offense just for their ability to sustain the ball. I thought their defense did a good job later in the game, causing us some issues. Overall, for the Wolverines, offensively, my O-line, I give a C. Offensively, I give us a D. And just for the fact that we could not punch it in the end zone, we could not sustain any drives. And then I give the referees an A for blowing calls. Because that wasn't a touchdown, that was a touchback.
Thank you. All right, Philly E, you're last, and you know why. Go ahead.
Yeah, the question was culture or coaching. Well, I think they're kind of intertwined. I think the coaches create the culture, and the leaders of the kids, they basically carry it. Right now, I don't know if we have that. I think it's been a problem for 2 years. You saw the antics on Saturday, and Jamie will tell you, I was extremely pissed off about that during the game. But the thing is, when we hear that we're young, but the problem is, it's not the young guys that are doing these things that are killing us. The jumping off sides versus what was it? The Northwestern game that happened at Illinois. Guys were jumping off sides and extending drives. I mean, this is something that's been going on for 2 years. And I just don't see the accountability. I just don't see it. I mean, we were putting a kid out there that was dropping balls for 3 months, and he was out there fielding punts over his shoulder on the 3-yard line. And it took the next week for him to fumble to finally say, hey, you know what? We really can't tolerate this. Well, damn, we're only 3 months into the season. What are we doing?
Say it with your chest, Philly.
My point is this. There used to be a doghouse for the coach that you played for. There was a doghouse for the coach that Jamie played for. There needs to be accountability. We haven't had it for 2 years. And maybe that has a lot to do with Mike Hart, Klink, Ben Herbert all leaving. I'm sure they were culture setters, and that had a lot to do with it. But we need to bring guys in there like that again. There's got to be accountability because it's all the little things. And quite frankly, it's not just that. It's with our coaching staff. We suck at replay. We replay plays that are correctly called. And then we don't replay the calls that are poorly called on replay. And clock management, come on. I mean, this has been something that's been going on for 2 years, and it happened again on Saturday. And how about the gaffes on special teams last year with Illinois on the fake and lining up over the center against Oregon? I mean, we're making a lot of really bad mistakes. And I think our coach, who I love to death still, and I fully support him, he definitely is going to have to take something off his plate so he can manage the game and let his coaches, he's got to let Chip run the offense because he's got to manage that game. He's got to be on the phone with somebody say, we replaying this or we're not replaying this. And he's got to be better at clock management because we keep goofing that up. And quite frankly, and Jamie, you said all this, he needs to take over that offensive line because quite frankly, that's where our success was built from 21, 22, and 23. And the success of that offensive line, which, by the way, Jamie, I'm going to disagree with you on one thing. I think we got all the pieces there. I think we have the kids there. We just got to grow them. I really think that. I think we have the pieces on offensive line. They just got to grow. And he's got to oversee that because we've already seen for that 3-year stretch when that heartbeat of that football team, when it's the offensive line, it literally has a positive effect on the defense. Iron sharpens iron. It was proven 21, 22, and 23. So if he's going to make a big difference, he's got to go out and get some dogs. We got to have some accountability. When I mean dogs, I mean on coaching staff, or at least 1 or 2 guys that are going to change the culture and kind of see to it that we have some kids that step up with some leadership that can carry that culture.
Philly, I'm gonna cut you off.
Go ahead, I'm done.
The show's ended. You said everything that needed to be said, and I'm in 100% agreement with you. When you talk about offensive line play, do I think that I would like to get a couple of blue chippers or some guys from in the portal? Damn right. But again, culture and accountability. And accountability is a word societally, not just at Michigan football, in society, that seems to be fading away, that nobody wants to hold anyone's feet to the fire anymore. So again, how do I get your attention? How do I express to you that I need more out of you? Hey, I take away from you that what you love most or want most. That's going to be playing time, because that was the thing here at Michigan that we live by. It's next man up. Either you're getting it done or you're not, or if you get hurt, everybody knows the story of Wally Pipp. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do for Michigan, and can you sustain it in the expected fashion?
I'll say this real quick. Gentlemen, I remember a show a little while ago. I said, this gentleman is not in the tradition of a Michigan coach. And I used the word, and everybody got on me about using the word on him. And now it seems to come to fruition.
What word was that, though?
What word was that? Oh, God, he froze.
He froze up.
He just froze.
Soft.
Okay.
It was soft.
I was like, Jesus came to the rescue.
It's like the suspense.
I'm like, what did you do? I was going to blame you.
No, don't
time.
blame me. That was Jesus trying to save somebody.
Y'all remember the word, right?
Yeah,
S-O-F-T, soft.
Or if you're from the New York area, it's S-A-W-F-T, which is.
I don't think the man's soft. I mean, he under the hardball program, and I know I shouldn't bring that back because I said we're gonna
not soft as a man, soft as a Michigan coach. That has not been a Michigan coaching style from Bo on.
No, you're right. Look, I get it.
So, but the one thing I will say is that this is where the art comes in at, right? Because we're all old guys and we're talking about soft and being tough, blah, blah, blah. But back in our day, we were raised in a certain environment. We were feral animals, at which point in time you needed a firm, stern hand in order to wrangle us in. Right now, you have a lot of emotionally based, emotionally driven young men. The whole headbutting situation right there, that would have never crossed my mind in a million years to do that. Why? You're playing off of emotion instead of rationality.
Controlled aggression.
And I'm even cool with uncontrolled aggression when it's between the whistle.
Right.
But
you know what those stripes mean.
Yeah.
You know better than touching those stripes.
Exactly.
You don't violate the stripes.
So, like I said, man, there's the art of it too. You have to be able to blend it. I can't be so old school that I push away the kids that I have, that I repel the kids that I'm trying to bring in. But also, I can't let the inmates run the asylum, and I have to keep the expectation and the bar set. You will meet the expectation, or we will find somebody else who will.
Well, that's going to do it for the End Zone today. And we had a good one. Thomas, thank you for coming in. Remember, he won't be on Thursday. You're listening to the M Zone on the Big
1050.